everybody, and welcome to Roll Together RPG and to a very special one-shot. We apologise for interrupting your regular programming of either the long-running campaign or Teeth and Lies, I believe it is at the minute. But with the new Player's Handbook coming out tomorrow, as this is going out on the 16th, we thought we would do a little one-shot using the new rules. Now, I say I'm the only one with a copy of the book, but luckily D&D Beyond have recently updated their website to have all of the 5th edition 2024 stuff on there. So all of the players that you see around me now have got access to it, which is very handy because originally it was going to be that I was going to input everything into Roll20, and that would have been a nightmare. But before we get into the session, and before I introduce the players, normally I'd introduce the players now, but we're going to do slightly lengthier introductions because of all the new species and classes and all that. So before we do that, I'd like to thank our sponsors and supporters for tonight. Our sponsor is Phoenix Dice. You can go to phoenixdice.com to get some of their clickety-clack math rocks, including some limited edition Roll Together dice, which you just saw Tom show on the screen. If you use the code Roll Together, all caps at checkout, you will get 25% off of your purchase, which is pretty good. We are also supported by Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. Put exclamation point code in chat now to get a code which you can use in-game to get yourself a free Electrum chest. It spans all of the D&D universes, and you can collect characters and fight your way through waves of monsters and all of that goodness on consoles, PC, and mobile. So go check that out. We are also supported and support Bearded Ladies, a clothing company that is ran by both Roll Together veterans G and Ed. You can find all of their stuff in the description or in the link in chat, as well as Michael Dobson's character art. Mike does all of the artwork for our long-running campaign and some of the six-parters that you've seen in the past. So again, follow links in chat to support on Instagram, and commissions are open if you'd like to get some artwork of your favourite characters done. Your favourite characters that you play, I should say. Anyway, with that all said and done, I'm going to start introducing the characters. I am going to start with the person who I believe has read quite a lot about the changes that have happened with the particular character that they are playing, the class they're playing and all of that. I'm going to go to Sean.
How did I know that this was going to be the mistaken identity here? Hi, I'm Sean. I use he, him. I'm going to be playing a character called Gore. Gore is using the Goliath stats, although I've put a bit of a roll together twist on it. I'm playing a Triceratops, of course. I just wanted to show, you can think outside the box here, people. The Goliath. Okay, I'm going to have to preface this with, I actually don't think I've ever played a Goliath myself, but I have played alongside them, so hopefully I vaguely know what's going on. Although I've just been informed that some of the things I thought were super new were brought in with Big Bees, so that just shows you a little bit something what I know about Goliaths. But one of the things about Goliaths that I thought was quite cool, they brought in giant ancestry. So the version of Goliath that I was aware of only had the Stone's Endurance, which is now associated with Stone Giant ancestry. But there's now a whole host. I'm not going to go into all of them, but the one I have picked is the Frost Giant for my Triceratops. Was encased in ice and has come away just a little bit tingly and cold. He is a barbarian. That's the class. You know what? I'm going to say the background because this is something we don't go into, and this is, I think, one of the biggest and possibly most exciting changes. Actually, backgrounds are like much more important. I mean, I could count on no hands the number of times my background was important in 5e, but now they've taken a whole host of things and just made it important. What background you pick. So I have picked the guide background, mostly because the ability scores matched up. But so you get tool proficiency, you get a couple of skill proficiencies, you get a feat, which is like just mind-boggling. That's huge. You get to level 1. Brilliant. And I want to say that also the ability scores, which used to be tied to your species, is now tied to the background. So lots of exciting changes. And yes, I am playing a barbarian, which, I mean, let's face it, they're still going to rage, but they've now got uses for rage outside of combat. And it's no longer that you have to be hit things to keep your rage up. Now, you still hit things to keep your rage up, or if you impose a save on something, you can keep your rage up. And the third thing is you can use your bonus action to stay angry. So no longer will barbarians be pinching themselves in the nipples just to stay angry.
Surely that is the bonus action, though, is to pinch your nipple.
I mean, you can flavor it how you like.
Yeah.
So you can keep doing it as a bonus action. And the advantage of that is that your rage can last for up to 10 minutes. And there's functions for the rage outside of combat. One of my favorite things is that at level 3, you can use your rage to substitute strength for certain checks. So we were having a bit of a laugh about the thought of a very angry barbarian and sneaking past people and just kind of angrily going, "You don't see me!" Carrying on. No, I didn't see you at all. I don't know. There's some cool stuff coming up for the barbarian that I'm really excited to get started. But I think I've probably talked enough.
That's fair. We should also say that you're playing the World Tree Barbarian, which is
I should say that.
Which is a brand new subclass, which you don't have to go into. There is gonna be a video on the Barbarian and that subclass and other things that's going to come out on the YouTube channel anyway. So
I could not resist getting in there first.
Yes.
Put it on the wiki.
I was wondering if somebody was going to play a World Tree Barbarian and if that person was going to play basically Kratos or a Nordic Viking, basically. So I was wondering if that was going to happen. But we have a dinosaur instead, which I think is way cooler.
No shame thrown at Kratos. You're good, but you're no dinosaur.
I think we will move over now to Mr. Tomothy.
Hello, my name is Tom. I use he, him pronouns, as does my new character, Brother Basil, who is a Dragonborn cleric. So, the Dragonborn, a bit like the Goliaths, still separated into different sort of heritages, I think. Well, whatever the technical... I'm a red Dragonborn, so that means I have the resistance to fire. I still got the fire breath. Something which I think is new is I now, as a bonus action, can fly. I gain draconic wings for 10 minutes and take to the skies. And I think that is once a long rest. Yeah, so 10 minutes of flight. I don't think Dragonborn has changed massively apart from that. Background.
Just before you move over,
I think they got dark vision.
I have dark vision now.
Yeah, I think they have dark vision.
Before.
Also, cats now have dark vision. That's a new addition where cats can see in the dark.
Was that the first thing you looked at when you had access to the book, Sean, was whether cats got dark vision?
Well, I was looking at Druid, and then I obviously then looked at Cat.
Tom, I have a question about Dragonborn.
Yes.
In Fizban's Treasury book that came out where they introduced a lot more Dragonborn options, I don't know what stuff is transferred over into the player's handbook, so I have a couple of questions for you.
I will try and answer.
First of all, can you play as a gem dragon still? Or
I believe
have they removed that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And secondly, can you still forego one of your attacks to do a breath weapon, or is it now an action again?
It is, when you take the attack action on your turn, you can replace one of your attacks with an exalted. You can add your breath weapon now as a part of an attack. Yeah.
Awesome. So they've kept those.
2 times a long rest for me at the moment, but yeah.
You're not restricted to cone or line. Like you can pick which one. Whereas before, I think it was determined by what type of dragon you were.
It is either a 15-foot cone or a 30-foot line that is 5 foot wide. Choose the shape every time.
Wow.
See, this is good why we're asking questions.
This is really cool.
Really good. At the point of recording this, I haven't got to the looking through the species thing for the video, so that's good information to know.
Yes, and it's a nice changer there, where you're like, okay, I whistle slightly, and that changes the way my breath works, rather than just.
For those listening on the podcast, the players are all now making dragonborn breath faces.
Yes. Sorry, I should have actually thrown in a voice with how I was doing that.
Heritage background stuff. So I'm an acolyte. So again, that is the skills, which is once again you can choose if you want 2 and 1 or 3 having +1. I believe for an acolyte that is intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. I went for all 3 just to balance it out. Also, I'm now good at calligraphy. That's just sort of like very tidy handwriting. It's very good for the RP to know that you're very good with penmanship. Yes, cleric. So I think this is the first time I've played a cleric. I won't say ever, but I was like, hey, challenges. So when you start level 1, you get to choose your divine order, which can be something to do with protection or thaumaturgy. I've gone thaumaturge. That means I get an extra cantrip, and I also get a +3 to my arcana and religion. So that's quite nice. Channel divinity, you get to do a bit like we were talking about with the rage. You get to do a lot more with the channel divinity. One option is, again, the turn undead, which I think was done previously. Another one, which is you get to choose whether you heal people by, I think, a D8 in your proficiency, or you could possibly do radiant or necrotic damage. And as I'm a war cleric, I can also give, using my channel divinity, give a +10 to an attack, either for myself or someone else. Also, as a bonus action, I get an unarmed strike, so I just punch someone as I'm fighting. Yes, apart from that, I think there's sort of like there's some new spells, one of which hopefully I'm going to use, which is Holy Word, where you have to say it quietly because you don't want the wrong people hearing what the holy words are, but then that does radiant damage as a cantrip. Yes, I think that is... I'll hand over to our good DM. Anything you think I'm missing talking about clerics there?
When did you pick your domain?
My domain was level 3. So,
yes.
So that is, I think, one big change, because normally it was level 1.
Yes, this has been another thing we've been talking about off stream, like the funniness of like being a sorcerer or a warlock and being like, I don't know who's in charge. I just get these spells. We like to think
it's the same with the cleric. It's like,
yeah,
I don't know which god I'm following for the first 2 levels.
We like to think it's like in a video game where you have to get to a certain level and then finally your patron turns up and is like, hi, I don't deal with scrubs. You seem interesting. Nice to meet you, Asmodeus. And you're like, oh, I thought it was the Fae. Yeah, a lot of people think that, but what you going to do?
I don't want no scrub. Scrub is a guy that can't reach to level 3.
Brilliant. I think one of the coolest things with the cleric is that divine order thing that you get level 1, because it basically allows you to pick whether you want to be a war cleric with the protector or more of a robes and sort of book style cleric, which in the 2014 thing it was, if you wanted to be a heavy armor wearing cleric, you have to pick these particular domains, but now it gives you the option to do that with any of the domains, which I think is really good. It's very cool. Anyway,
Right.
and then moving on, we will go to our final player, which is Nick.
Hello. Yes, I'm Nick, he, him, and this evening I shall be playing Autumn Rain, she, her. Rain spelled R-E-I-G-N. For no particular reason. Autumn Rain is I'm going with Monk this evening. I am playing an Aasimar Monk. And these have gone through a few changes, which are quite exciting. I'll start with Aasimar, because like Sean, I've been around Aasimars and I've been around monks. I've never played either. But the Aasimar change, the biggest one I know, funnily enough, as a bit of a flip to both of these guys, the heritage system has kind of been retracted. So you no longer have to pick whether or not you are the Radiant one or the Fallen one or anything like that, and you get a power associated with it. Those three powers that existed before, the ability to fly, the ability to put out demonic wings and pools of black eyes that make people frightened around you within about a 10-foot radius, or spread radiant light for 10 feet and an additional 10 feet of dim light. You choose any day when you want to do it.
Oh.
It's entirely up to you which one you want. It's there for you to have whenever you want it. Once a day per long rest. And which I think is a great change, because that was a bit of a restrictive point at the beginning for Aasimar, and it's no longer the case. I don't think there's many other changes. Aasimar are pretty much the same. I don't recall if they had dark vision before, but I'm pretty sure I do now. So
I want to say they did.
Well, then no change. Just commenting upon it. There we go.
But it's still exciting to be able to see in the dark.
It's
Yes.
always exciting to be able to see in the dark.
Can I see in the dark?
What was one of the biggest complaints in 2014 D&D? Too many of the species had dark vision. What do they do in the 2024 one? Give everybody dark
Give
vision.
everybody dark vision.
I can't see in the dark.
Oh.
Not evolved enough.
No.
There we go. But I'm an Aasimar, so I can cast light. You will always be able to see in the dark.
Hooray.
Ta-da.
And then I will angrily tell people I'm supposed to be stealthy.
Oh, yeah. Now, Monk, as I've not played it before, but Monk's had a few changes. The biggest ones, the key ones, see what I did there, key points are now known as focus points, which is a very obvious change. I don't think there's too much to it. But they come in at regular intervals as per it used to anyway. You get martial arts, and I feel like a lot of this has changed, and I'm perhaps not the most informed person, but I'm going to read through what I know. You get your martial arts die from the beginning, which is at the start is a 1d6, it racks up to a 1d12, and you use that on any unarmed strike, rather than as other people would do. You use those quite frequently. You get your focus points, like I said, come in, and you can use them for different certain things. Obviously, Flurry of Blows is still there, but there's also a couple of others which effectively, the main thing about them, although it doesn't really say it anywhere else, the Monk does have Disengage and Dash as a bonus action, but they are classed underneath specific focus point brackets, but they are something you have as general, but it's not really well written out like that. But in case anybody's confused about that, the Monk still can Disengage and Dash as a bonus action pretty much immediately, or if not immediately, by level 2. I'm not too sure which. I am taking, for the subclass, I'm going with the Warrior of the Elements. They changed Way of to Warrior. Huge change, I know. But I know the Way of the Elements never used to get a lot of love. They weren't very much liked. They weren't fantastic. So I'm trying this one out, see what it goes like. Biggest thing is the Warrior of the Elements can use a focus point to effectively become an embodiment of the elements for 10 minutes. And you gain reach of 10 feet. So, and your damage attacks at that point do elemental damage. Acid, cold, fire, thunder, lightning.
Are you telling me that for 10 minutes you can enter the avatar state?
Yep.
Just for 10.
Just for 10?
As a little treat.
I mean, that's longer than Aang ever held it, so that's fine.
Yeah, it's only for 10 minutes. And then also, I can do that 3 times because I've got focus points. And then I can do my metabolism one, which means I can gain all those focus points back once per long rest when I roll initiative and do it all over again. So for an hour per day. And that's at level 3. With the focus points as they go up. It's balanced, man. It's totally balanced. What are you talking about? I could be wrong. It might be a minute, but I swear I read it as, I'll find out when we play the game.
A minute is still longer than Aang and Korra combined, I think.
Well, there we go.
Elemental attunement, is that?
Yes.
It lasts for 10 minutes or until you are incapacitated.
There you go.
Wow.
If we can knock out Autumn Rain, then we can stop. But 10 minutes.
10 minutes. There you go. I hadn't
Can't turn it off.
Other than that, I think those are most of the changes from Monk that people will be mostly interested in. I think there was one other one, but hey, if you need to know them, focus in on the roll together.
Have you done your background?
But I've not done my background. My background is entertainer, because this monk travels and entertains people, and most of the big changes to background has already been mentioned by my two wonderful compatriots this evening. But it's worth stating again, the feat comes with this, so you always start with the feat. Doesn't matter who you are, you get one. That is really, really cool. The feat is tied to the background, so if you want to pick based on the feat, you can go for that. Some of them are massively OP. If you go guard, you get alert. That's insane. But hey, there we go. Yeah. If you pick the guard background, you get alert. That's it.
Wow.
That's
it's
not guard-like behaviour to just be constantly like, you can't surprise me.
I got musician, so I know I am proficient with 4 different musical instruments, and I can give heroic inspiration every short or long rest. It's not inspiration like a bard; it is different. We'll cover that when we get to it. But and obviously I really like this change to the ability score points that you get, because it feels like a nice blend in between the two. When they started saying like, oh, you can just do whatever you want, just have 2 points and put them in. This way, you've got 3 points to put in, but you've got a choice of 3, not all 6. You can either do 1 point for 3 different ones, or you can do 2 and 1 and 1 and another, and balance it that way. And so that's Autumn Rain.
Amazing.
That is 1 point on the monk. I don't know if this was a thing before, but they specifically state you can interchange strength and dexterity for different sorts of attacks. And I don't know if previously they were only dexterity, like they always exchanged out to dexterity. So it maybe opens up the build style to, if you want to be like a big muscle heavy strength monk and wear armor, you don't have to worry about dex if you want to stack yourself in a different way.
I think, if memory serves right, and chat will correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I think the martial arts feature stated that you could use strength or dexterity when making your unarmed strikes, but then most of the monk features later on sort of try to gear you more towards dexterity.
Then I'm talking rubbish and ignore me.
Well, no, because from what you said, that makes it sound like the monk features going forward allow you the option of strength or dex, whereas before
grapple, it's now strength or dex.
Whereas before it was limited. You could choose to do your unarmed strikes with strength or dex, but every other feature the monk got was tailored to dexterity.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Got you. Yeah. A lot of what I've been reading looks like they are really trying to hone in on you have a choice.
That's really good.
Another thing that's worth flagging is they seem to be very excited about reducing movement. That a lot of stuff seems to be, if this works, reduce it by 10 feet. There's stacks. So I know we're doing a lot of theatre of the mind, but now suddenly it's like, this person can only move 20 feet. So
that is a very good point. Is it does feel like a lot of the, like you say, with the movement reduction things, a lot of it is geared towards having models on table or being online and playing with a VTT and all of that sort of stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works with Theatre of the Mind, which is how we're playing today. So anyway, I think with that, we're going to get in with tonight's session. We're going to have there isn't going to be a title sequence, but there will be the normal logo thing that's going to appear now. So we will see you in a second. Our story begins on the road to Phandalin. It is nighttime. There are strange cricket noises in the air. The stars are out, the moon is out, shining down on the pathway as you are all walking. The town itself can just be seen off in the distance. A few of the building light torches are on, and it's sort of guiding the way for all of you to get there. The three of you have been traveling together since leaving Neverwinter, and you are fast approaching Phandalin. It's probably 2-day journey, 3-day journey maybe. And I think what we're going to do to start off with, I know we've already done introductions for your characters and who they are and everything, but what we'll do now is we'll get a description of what your character looks like and what position they would be in as you're currently walking down this road. And I'm going to go in reverse order this time, and I'm going to start with Nick.
Okay, so Autumn Rain is roughly about 5'7", about 5'7" height, Asthma, so quite silvery skin, very sort of celestial looking, very gaunty but beautiful kind of features, a long hair which is shaved on one side but all very long down the other side, and probably in she'll be very, very light on the top to like sort of snowy white hair, which is going to stretch down to a slightly more like orangey, reddish, loose top on top, a green skirt, and sort of branches at the bottom, which is covering all the seasons and the elements through her body, basically from top to bottom. And she's very delicate in foot, kind of walking along very lightly. There's a slight air of somebody who is a well-trained dancer, perhaps, and will probably be playing the pan flute as she walks very lightly.
Amazing. And next to Autumn, we have Gore. Gore, I said reverse order, but I'm now going in the order that you are on my Zoom. And you're next, Gore. What do you look like?
Sorry, Tom, flipped on you.
It's a trickster.
So Gore is probably around about the region of 8.5, 9 foot tall. Is a triceratops, like humanoid, hulking lizard with a massive frill and three prominent horns, but also kind of some other spikier horns, possibly a predecessor of even dragonfolk. Wears mostly just kind of tanned skins and very simple clothing, but has managed to pick up a little utility belt for reasons unknown on his travels. Has a large armored tail, spikes down his back, and carries a large maul that seems to be made out of a solid piece of amber, and is probably fumbling along behind, using the pan pipes to lead direction, because he cannot see in the dark.
And as I attempt to corral a very excited pan player and a giant dinosaur, this Brother Basil, perfectly sort of in between size-wise, about 6'1", red dragonborn, so again the red, the frills. He is in chainmail. He has a mace at his side, his shield, which has a steel gauntlet on it for Torm, for his god, because he's level 3, and so he gets to know who his god is. Turns out, I was like, hey, Basil, you know who you've been worshipping for the last 12 years? Who? Torm. Cool. He can see in the dark, so is like trying to, I said, like slightly hurt, where it's like, nope, not that way. Nope, good. Is enjoying the panpipes. It's something that, I mean, we started with some bagpipes, and that very quickly got just like, I understand that we've got to try and be a bit stealthy. Just like panpipes, who would attack a panpipe player out here on the distant road? Yeah. Yes.
Isn't we pass that sign, say, respect for neighbors, no noise?
Yeah. Well, I mean, what more respect could we have than a lovely panpipe concert at like looks at the sky, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., late.
It's gentle music to aid everybody as we saunter our way into town. Nobody dislikes panpipe music. I understand the bagpipes. I do get it. They're loud. I will stop next time before midnight. I promise. I promise.
Good.
As you're all walking down towards Phandalin, and as it gets closer, having your conversations, playing your instruments, you hear a scream come from the town.
Uh-oh.
I don't think that's about the panpipes.
It's party town.
No, mostly trade.
I know
that. I think get ready for. That's not the scream of people who are like, that's late and you need to get to bed. I think that might be trouble. So. Sorry, just Autumn Rain, like, honestly, just what a day.
It's fine. I will do a quick dance recital for them and everybody will go to sleep. Here we go.
I can't believe that's worked previously.
Clarifying, by Autumn Rain's meaning of dance recital is kick their arses. So
I still like the idea of like being like a bar fight, and then just in the background, just sort of like ribbon dance, kick.
Yes, yeah.
It works.
As you're slowly beginning to work out what my point of reference is, you'll know why.
We will let everybody know at the end of the episode what the point of reference is. So if you'd like to find out what the point of reference is, you need to watch till just before the end of the episode.
My point of reference is dragon. I'll give that one to free.
Dinosaur.
Yeah.
Every time you say dinosaur, Sean, and I think we're all around the same sort of age, so my brain instantly goes to Denver, the last dinosaur.
No, mine went.
Oh,
I mean, I didn't get any of that. Oh, those dinosaurs, yeah.
We will also take Yoshi. There are many other dinosaurs out there. Yoshi.
Gore, it's your turn. Larson.
Awesome.
Another scream comes from the city as you walk, from the town. Sorry, as you make your way there, entering into the town itself is not gated or there's no gates or fences or anything around it. It is a open town that you can just run into, and as soon as you get into the center of it, you can see that there are 4 figures that are shambling around in a rather unaliving sort of way. That's not a word, but that's the word I'm going for. They are attacking what look to be living people who are cowering under carts and trying to get into the buildings that are locked. Around these shambling figures are 4, 5 wolves. 3 of them look like your average wolf size, and 2 of them look a lot larger. I'm going to need everybody to roll me initiative, please. Now, because we are using the new rule set, normally what I like to do is pull all of the creatures into their type. So all of the zombies would go on 1 initiative, all of the wolves would go on 1 initiative, and the dire wolves would go on 1 initiative. Hint, hint at what's on.
It's a big one.
I'm going to roll all of them individually so we can get a full feel for what a full combat feels like.
And you're going to give them all names, right? So we don't get confused. There's Arthur, Beatrice, Clementine, Detox.
Detox?
Detox. That's right. I ran out of names by number 4.
Douglas.
One of these zombies rolled really high.
Uh-oh.
So,
well, that's a waste of a natural 20.
I'm not going to be doing any shenanigans in this one. I'm going to try to stick to the rules as best I can, as much as it annoys me to do so.
It's why we're here.
I'll just quickly start looking at how much can one person do in a turn.
A monk. I think you could do a lot of...
my God.
That's exactly it.
Autumn runs up a building and is like, oh, she's gone.
I did roll 1 natural 20 on one of the creatures, I will say now.
Good.
Yeah, but what's their initiative?
Luckily, it wasn't one of the zombies, because it would have been a -2.
Oh, God.
Lucky for whom?
I do have +4, so my initiative is 24.
24 for Autumn. What does Basil have?
14.
14. And Gore, what do you have?
17.
Nice.
17. Fandavidozy.
Good split.
Right, with that all determined and with the scene around us set, Autumn, you are up first.
All right, here we go. First time as this character, there's this game, is this everything? This is going to be great. And I'm going to completely break the system immediately. So, first thing first, I will like to expend one of my focus points to activate my elemental attunement. Because apparently you have to do that at the beginning of your turn, but I don't think it's an action. It just says at the start of your turn, expend a focus point to imbue yourself with elemental energy, and this is the thing that will now last for 10 minutes or until I am incapacitated. So that's going to happen. Additionally, because there's a lot of people around, we're just going whole hog. As I'm an Aasimar, I would also like to put on my Aasimar trait. So that no longer, here's a key fun point for everybody. This used to be an action to have to do. It no longer is. You can just do it. It's removed that aspect. So that's pretty nice rather than having to pop out wings and then stand there for a turn. But I'm not going to pop out wings. She's going to rush in and be like, everybody, boys, dance with me and release your inner radiance. Inner radiance is the name of the thing, which is the one that will expend light from me for 10 feet and then dim light for another further 10 feet outside.
Yeah, go casino.
Also helps. Go.
Wolves.
I would like to then head in towards these wolves, wherever they are. But I will stay 10 feet away from them because I have reach.
Awesome. So the wolves, the dire wolves, wolves, and zombies are all what would be considered like the center of the town, where the town market would probably be set up during the day.
Mm-hmm.
So you can easily get yourself within 10 feet of one of the wolves. Is that everything on your turn?
That's just the things that start. I'd need to attack and do my actions and my bonus actions.
I mean, sounded like you did an awful lot, so that's why I thought that was your whole turn. So that's awesome.
Yeah, none of that did anything. That was just me activating myself as I ran in, effectively. So once I get in range of... is there only one wolf here, or can I get in range of, say, 2 wolves?
You can get yourself within range of 2 of the wolves if you'd like to.
Yes, please. I will get in range of 2 wolves. I will then make an unarmed attack from slight range, because I've got reach with the elemental attunement, on the first wolf, please.
Awesome. Right, so which one would you like to attack first? We have got Alfred, Bernard, or Clements. Tom asked me to name them all. I am naming them all after A, B, and C.
Perfect. Let's go in the middle. Bernard.
Bernard. Okay.
Bernard,
Make an attack roll against Bernard, please.
Alrighty, here we go. What is my attack? And again, it's +6, I believe. Not as great as my initiative. Let's see here. That's going to be a 14 to hit.
14 hits.
Okay. And then, as it is an unarmed strike, I roll a d6 and add 4. Lovely. 9 points of... Now, this is where it gets fun. Because this is my elemental attunement, I'm going to make that cold damage.
Oh, nice. Explain to me in the audience how changing it to cold damage looks as your strike hits this wolf.
Lovely. So yeah, Autumn dances in, and it's not so much running as leaping through the air, and she'll do a spin on the spot. And very Avatar, kind of punch forward, and as she does so, a blast of frigid, cold air, which begins to go into icicle shards, flies towards the wolf, and then peppers the wolf with all this damage.
I love that. And as the frost sort of envelops over the wolf, you can see that the attack itself does a heavy amount of damage to it, causing it to buckle down on its 2 front legs buckle as it sort of face plants into the floor, but it picks itself back up slowly. It is looking bloodied now. I should say that bloodied is a condition that was first introduced in 4th edition, I believe it was, and for a lot of DMs in 5th edition, we used to use it when a creature was under 50% health. Now, looking at the rules for this, it is when a creature is under 25% health. So this is because there are a lot of abilities that a lot of the classes get where it says you may heal a bloodied creature, but not past more than half of their maximum hit points, sort of thing. So half their so bloodied is about 25%. So this thing is bloodied.
Ah, okay, cool. I will then bonus action an unarmed strike. Is there another wolf within 10 feet of me that's not just this one?
Yes, Alfred is the next one that is near you.
I'd love to, as a bonus action, you do an unarmed strike against Alfred.
Fantastic. Make me an attack roll against Alfred the wolf.
Oh, nowhere near as good. That one was only an 8.
8. Unfortunately, as the frost envelops one wolf, you go to spin around to strike using your dancing techniques to move around and try to strike one of the other wolves. But this wolf sees your attack coming and ducks down into a pounce position, and as your attack just goes over its head.
No worries. That is almost very much my turn, but my final point is this is a cool change that I've just read and noticed. These 2 wolves are within 10 feet of me.
They both are, yes. Then,
this might be a change across the board and will be interesting for people to know. Things that happen when they say at the start of your turn and so on. In this instance, this is my inner radiance does damage to anything that remains within that radiance, but it happens at the end of my turn.
Oh.
So rather than people moving in or out of it, it's where you've positioned yourself to finish your turn.
That's I like that a lot. I wonder if, because again, not looked at the spells and stuff, I wonder if Spiritual Guardians has changed in that way. Nobody has access to it, but we will look it up and find out during the break, I reckon. But yes, go ahead.
Both of them will take 2 points of radiant damage.
2 points of radiant damage is exactly what you needed to kill Bernard.
Wow. There we go. Sorry, Brennan. Bye.
How does this... Obviously, you've got the radiance going off around you at the moment, but when it comes to it damaging the enemies that are within its range, how does that look?
It's it's a beautiful somebody who's performed for many, many years, a stare which sends out a pulse of energy that anybody who would be watching from the audience would feel moved by. In this case, poor Bernard is moved to death.
That's the last thing it ever wants to see, and it's just like, perfect.
There we go. A pulse of radiant energy, kind of like her form, grows outwards. It's like a shadow of herself expends outwards by 10 feet and dissipates, and anybody caught in the blast takes some damage.
And that death glare is what kills Bernard the wolf. That now makes me want to play a character that's based on the Rock, and whenever I use that, it's just him raising his eyebrow.
That's so cool.
Is that everything on Autumn's turn?
Yeah, monks are crazy. That's my turn.
Wow.
Please.
Amazing. Right. So, sorry, I forgot to note down that Alfred took some damage, so he is now down to that. It is now Alfred's turn, and it is also Clementine's turn as well, or Clements, whichever one I said one of the two. Alfred and Clements are both going to move over to you, Autumn, as you are the one who have got in their grill and killed one of their friends.
Lovely.
And they are going to attack you now. Wolves are pretty much the exact same as what they were in the 2014 rules. So because both of them are attacking you, and they're within 5 feet of an ally, which is each other, they will get advantage on this attack roll, both of them, but it's only one attack. So they are both going to make a bite attack. The first attack is going to be a natural 20.
Oh, okay, here we go.
Oh, here we go.
Okay. So, critical hits. Josh is going to pause, actually, because Josh hasn't looked up critical hits yet.
I
think crits are the same, but I don't want to go off of the old rules and be wrong.
I think they said like a 20 is always a hit and a 1 is always a miss. So whereas before there was a bit of like leeway, it's like, oh well, but I've got all of this plus 30 and shit, I cannot miss. Yes, you can.
Oh no, you can.
Oh yes.
Yeah, no, it's still rolling double the damage. rather than maximizing damage and all that sort of stuff, which is a bit sucky. But anyway, yeah. So that was a critical hit. So in the 2024 rule set, it's still the exact same. So you double the amount of damage, double the amount of dice that you roll, and then add your modifier. I think I'll stick to the way that I do it in the long running campaign, because I find criticals
unprecedented.
Because I find criticals aren't as potent the way that the rules say. So anyway, this is going to be 2d6 damage.
The rules.
But this is a rule stream.
It literally says it on like the first page. It's fine.
So I rolled a 9 in total. So that is going to be 11 points of piercing damage you're going to take from that.
Amazing. Because this is the first time playing through this, I'm going to continue being a monk, and I'd like to use my reaction, please.
You can indeed. What are you going to do?
The thing I forgot to talk about at the beginning, which is what was once called deflect missiles, is now deflect attack, and works on any attack that would do bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage. It's no longer just a thing. So in this case, I will be rolling a d10 plus my... I can't remember what it was, but it's something plus my monk level.
Dexterity and monk level.
Dex and monk level, so at this point it's a +7.
So you need to roll a 4 or higher to completely negate this damage.
And if I do, it does something else. I didn't do it. There we go. I only rolled a 2. Oh. So I reduced that by 9.
Awesome. So you take 2 points of damage from that. One thing that I think is different here is that it does say it deals piercing damage and the target has the prone condition if it is medium or smaller, so you will be knocked prone from that attack.
Cool. I am prone.
So with that first wolf attacking you, that means the second wolf is still attacking you. It still gets pack tactics. Now, there was a lot of debate in the old rules about whether advantages and disadvantages stacked. They've clarified it in the new rules that they do not. So even though Autumn is prone, which would give the wolf advantage, it has advantage from the pack tactics, so it doesn't get double advantage. If there was an instance where Autumn was using the dodge feature, which granted disadvantage, that then just cancels it out. It's the advantage and disadvantage cancel each other out. The additional advantage from being prone does not then get applied. You only get one instance of it now, which is very cool. So I think that's a nice little way to balance it, because there's none of this I'm flanking and I'm using reckless and I've got disadvantage and all of that sort of stuff. So, but anyway, this next one's going to take you with advantage. That is a 2 on the first dice and a 12 on the second dice, which is going to make it a 14 to hit.
Misses.
Natural monk. Expecting her to be higher, so
yeah, it goes to leap at you. This is Clementine. Goes to leap at you as the other one knocks you prone. They were a bit discombobulated from just watching their friend get stared to death, and the other one just sort of dives over, skids in the dirt, sort of flicking up a bit of dirt onto Gore's clothing, and then sort of looking towards you dancing in the middle, Autumn, not paying any attention to the two people who haven't quite joined the fray yet. That is the end of its turn. That means we move over to Gore's turn.
One of them, the wolves, has just landed at my feet.
Is 5 feet in front of you with their back to you, although having their back to you doesn't impose any disadvantages to them. So
it does not. It makes no difference, but I'm still going to thwack it. So on my turn, I am a barbarian. And barbarians do one thing and do one thing well. I'm going to rage. Which I'm going to do as a bonus action. And
apologise for pulling that face when you raged. Now, each of the... Some of the subtypes get a special thing when they rage. Is there anything in particular that the World Tree Barbarian gets when you enter your rage?
So, yes, there is. As a part of the World Tree Barbarian, when I enter my rage, I gain 3 temp HP.
Oh, that's cool.
It is cool. But also, at the beginning of... I can't scroll. Where can I not scroll? At the start of each of my turns while my rage is active, I can choose another creature within 10 foot of me, and they gain 2d6 temp HP. So, just saying, stay within 10 foot of me, you might get presents.
Does that say other creature or does that say creature?
It says another creature.
Okay, so it can't be you.
So
Okay.
Don't think it can be me.
Yeah.
But I also, I still get the halving of piercing, slashing, and the third one, bludgeoning. So,
Which is pretty cool.
I shouldn't need it, but hopefully. Yes. So, but similarly to the previous editions, I still have +2 to damage, which is based on my barbarian level. Advantage on strength checks and saving throws. I cannot cast or maintain concentration on spells. And yeah, if I don't attack something, then I have options for trying to keep my rage going. It's not going to be a problem because I'm going to smash it with my with my maul.
I thought you were going to say with my mouth then. I was like, okay.
I mean, I'm a triceratops.
Yeah.
Right.
Fantastic. Make me an attack roll, please.
I will do this. Right. Ooh, and that is a 15 to hit.
15 is going to hit. Roll
it
me
is.
It is, yes. Roll me some DiMaggios.
Right. Well, this means that you get to explain to us what weapon mastery is, because I am a Maul weapon master.
So most of or all of the martial classes that are in the new handbook get at certain levels, some level 1, some level 2, some maybe higher levels, get access to something which is called weapon mastery, which allows you to pick weapons that you are an expert in wielding, and when you use a weapon that you are a master at, you can use the sort of weapon mastery property that is attached to that weapon. So, for example, I know one is with the dagger, which is called Nick, which allows you to make an attack. When you would use an attack action and would use a bonus action to make an attack with that dagger, you can instead wrap that into your actual attack action sort of thing. And there's others that do slow and cleave, I believe it is as well. So but the question is, what weapon property does your weapon have?
The maul has topple. Ooh. So if I hit a creature with a maul, I can force it to make a con saving throw. The DC is 8 + 2 plus my strength, which is also +2. So 12, the DC.
For a con save, yeah?
Con save. And on failed save, the creature has the prone condition. Amazing. So it's literally, it's at my feet, and I'm going to smash it into the ground.
I rolled a 10, so that makes it an 11.
Oh, not quite. DC is 12.
Amazing. Oh, okay. So the roll your damage for the weapon.
I shall do this. This is a thing that I shall do. Rolls are now also. I can't remember if they were before, but they're 2d6, which I want to say before was only the great sword was a 2d6.
No, you had the great sword was 2d6, but the great maul I believe was 2d6 as well. So and then there was a maul which was a d8. So they've just basically wrapped that into one by the sound of it. That's pretty cool.
That is 11 points of bludgeoning damage.
Unfortunately, your weapon property of knocking it prone doesn't matter because you crush its hind legs as it skids into position, breaking its spine and causing it to just fall limp on the floor as poor Clements dies. Because that 11 hit points is how much the wolves have.
Oh. But at least I knocked it over first.
Yes, you knocked it over first.
And we saw it. So
yeah.
Amazing.
I'm only level 3, so unfortunately I can only attack once. And I used my bonus action to rage. So I suppose, seeing as I've killed the thing right next to me, I'm going to just stroll casually into the melee. Probably walking, just kind of casually walking past Autumn into the area of light so that I can see things. And I'm just going to stand there menacingly, daring things to attack me.
You sort of stand as Autumn is facing off with one of the other wolves, Alfred. They're sort of circling each other, and the wolf is almost doing its own type of dance, but in sort of like a hunt, trying to stalk, ready to pounce onto Autumn. seeing its friend get absolutely smashed into the ground, plus the death stare from its other friend suffered, this wolf looks and there is fear in its eyes, and it begins to back up slowly as if it's going to flee. As you stand in the middle, almost in the middle of this arena, of this marketplace score, the shambling zombies turn towards you and they all begin making they take notice of you, is what I'm going to say. As one of them is going to go now. Now, I'm going to use the same convention. This one begins with A. This is Albert. Albert the zombie is going to walk up to you, Gore, and is going to make an attack roll against you. So, where is its attack? It's a slam attack. I still don't understand why zombies don't have bite as an attack. However,
it'd be too grim if they actually bit, because then you're like, now you're infected, and
Yeah.
that's what I want. Anyway, I rolled a 6 for a 9 to hit you.
9
Yeah.
is in German my answer.
That's there. As it walks up to you and tries to slam into you, your imposing figure just stands there as it just bounces off of you, and it does nothing.
I just do that kind of peck dance thing. Ruh, ruh.
That is that one done. Now it is one of the direwolves. Again, we're going to go with A, and this one is going to be called Alvin. I'm going with a lot of owls. This one is called Alvin. This one is going to move over towards where you are, Gore. It's trying to get to where the other wolf is, so it's trying to get to its pack, basically. It's going to make an attack against you. It does not benefit from pack tactics, even though the zombies and wolves are your enemies currently. They are not allies with each other, so it is going to attack
when they
you.
don't get along.
Yeah.
Unionize, guys.
That's a natural 20.
They've unionized.
This is when you see the roll together symbol twice in a row as a DM.
Wow.
Amazing.
Okay, so this is going to be a D10, sorry, so it's going to be 2 D10.
Mhm.
I'm glad this hit you.
Correct.
I'm glad this was against you.
We have to take some damage.
So that is going to be 17 points of piercing damage, which you'll obviously half because you're raging.
Okay.
And you will be knocked prone, or you'll have the prone condition. They've gotten rid of the knocked prone phrasing, and they've put have the prone condition now.
Okay.
In the book. It does only get one attack, though, so that is its attack done.
Probably gets me right in the calf, so I kind of have to fall down because my leg goes away.
Yeah. Amazing. Right, so moving on, we move to Basil.
Hello. So, as a cleric, I do have a channel divinity that helps me deal with the undead. But the question here is, do I want to do that? Because we're having fun beating things up. I mean, let's give it a go. I mean, it makes them want to run away. We can still chase them. Maybe it'll give us a bit of distance. So, Basil has entered the battlefield and is holding aloft his holy symbol, which is Torm. So he's holding up the shield, and he's also got a gauntlet on. So both of these are now glowing. As I have a little word with Torm. I'm like, hey mate, I know you're not Clemvor, but you probably don't want to see these zombies. So the undead, can they... so I've picked... They're all within 30 feet of me, so can they all make a wisdom saving throw?
They
please?
can indeed. Just get their stats up. Wisdom saving throw.
Yes.
I mean, go
zombies, but I mean, who am I to tempt fate?
It's going to go really well. That's a 4 for a 2 on one. That's a 15 for a 13 on the second.
Ooh, I believe meets it, beats it.
Yep, meets it, beats it. The third one rolled a 14 for a 12.
Nope.
No. And the last one rolled a 7 for a 5.
Perfect. So 3 of them are now both frightened and incapacitated. So I don't know. I was like, oh, frightened, they're going to run away. But then I'm just like, if they're incapacitated, does that mean they're just standing there going, oh no, oh holy radiance, no?
Allow me to just check the rules, and I will read out to you what incapacitated does now. So, what does turn undead does 2 new things now, you said?
Yes.
Or does 1 new thing as well as the thing you did before?
So previously it was that they were frightened and they need to move away from me, which remains. But they've also got the incapacitated condition, which...
Okay, well, incapacitated as a condition has changed in 5th edition, whereas before it was, I believe, you had disadvantage on attack rolls and things had advantage on attack rolls against you, and your movement speed was 0. I think was incapacitated. Now it is you have inactive. You can't take any action, bonus action, or reaction. You can't, if you're concentrating on something, whether it be a spell or an ability, that concentration is broken. You can't speak, and you are surprised. So if you're incapacitated, when you roll initiative, you have disadvantage on that roll. So that is gone up majorly in terms of what that does.
So yes, so they're frightened. They're frightened of me.
Yep.
And they also now can't do any actions at all. So.
Which is absolutely amazing. Does it say? Yeah. Does it say in there that they still run away from you?
Yes.
Or is that in the frightened condition?
For the duration, so this lasts 1 minute. They will try to move as far from you as it can on its turn. So.
Amazing.
Again, if they take damage, if I become incapacitated, or I just die. They're just like, hey, your god just abandoned you and you died. Again, folks, I'm more than happy for us to beat up these zombies. I just wanted to give them a bit. It is always that thing where you're like, hey, we did the thing, and you're like, no, you can't hit them. You're like, but I want the XP. So yes, good use of the Channel Divinity. Apart from that one that isn't scared of me, and I don't like that. And you know who else doesn't like that? Torm. So like as that happens, I sort of look and I'm like. As I watch, as the fear fills these 3 zombies' eyes, and I look at the one that's just staring at me, going, ugh, and I was like, "Bad choice. I'm going to cast spiritual weapon as basically the fist of Torm. I'm making it into it's a mace, but I still like it being like a fist of Torm. It comes in and is going to try and smack this zombie.
Awesome. Is spiritual weapon a bonus action still, or is it an action? Awesome.
It's a bonus action. It's a bonus action, and I haven't cast a spell, so I can do that. So does a 24 hit?
Oh, you said you were attacking a zombie, yeah?
Yes.
Is there a particular zombie you'd like? We've got
the one that didn't get, because there was one that failed to be my Channel Divinity.
That one is number C, which is Charles.
I'm going to hit Charles. 24 to hit.
Amazing. That hits Charles. 24.
As the fist comes down for 5 points of, I want to say, is it force? Yeah, force damage. As this fist just clunk.
Amazing. So Charles takes a hefty hit as you, not quite bloodied, but takes a hefty hit as you smash your Torm fist into him, sort of coming in from the skies above and slamming into him. Not quite with enough force to move him, but with enough force to cause some physical damage in some of the flesh, and his jaw kind of falls off and slips into the mud and everything. And he
oh no, my bite attack.
Oh, my non-existent bite attack.
Okay, so that's action. That's bonus action. Actually, I don't think I've really moved in. I think I might. I don't know if I've moved.
No, you just sort of stayed at the back, yeah.
I stayed at the back. I'm also just going to sort of say to the table, I have healing as well. I've also got healing word. If you just shout out if you need it, and I can do that.
Cleric has healing?
I'm as surprised as the rest of you.
Cleric is willing to heal. Much has changed in a million years.
No, cleric says if you kill enemy first, no need for healing. That was we need to do a dinosaur one shot now. It's like things were very different. Like we've done medieval, but dinosaurs. Cool.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I have my reaction.
Brilliant. So you're not moving.
I don't think I... how far away are my my friends from me?
I would say Autumn is probably the furthest away, probably at that 30-foot mark, and then Gore is probably did stroll in a little bit, so he's 20 feet away from you.
Okay.
And
so
everything else is within a 30-foot radius.
That's fine. As I said, I've got Cure Wounds. I've also got Healing Word, which is 60... Yeah, 60 feet. So
awesome.
Everyone's within.
Fantastic. And just to confirm, the frightening condition has not changed between editions. Still does the exact same things that it did before, on top of the additional things that your Turn Undead does.
Cool.
So, next, we have the 3 zombies. So I'm just going to pull them together and use all of those. So the first 2 zombies are going to move towards Gore, and the last one is going to move its way up towards... they can't, can they? They're frightened. All 3 of these ones, sorry, 2 of these ones are frightened, so they will not move towards Gore.
And incapacitated, so they can't attack.
They can't attack, but one can. Charles can.
Charles, who just got his jaw smacked off.
Yes.
And that's the one. I understand my associates here have a little bit of the blood rage. Take out Charles. Charles needs it. These guys go to the mountains. But...
Charles is going to move up to Gore to make an attack, while the other 2 move their 20 feet away. So they are now... that one is now 40 feet away from yourself, Basil, and the other one is 30 feet away. So they're still within range for everybody else to get to, but Charles is going to make a slam attack against Gore.
Rude.
Which is going to be a... Oh, no, I've got minus... Oh, no, I do have a +3. So I've got a 17 to hit.
Yep, that'll hit.
Okay. And this is 1d6 damage. I should just keep the dice out instead of putting them away after I've used them.
You're very tidy, and we appreciate that.
Yeah.
That is 4 points of bludgeoning damage as it tries to bite you, realise it doesn't have its teeth, and just headbutts you instead. As its slam attack.
I will take the 2 because I will halve that bludgeoning
You
damage.
shall have that. Fantastic. So that is them. And then finally, at the bottom of the initiative, we have the last dire wolf, which is going to circle its way around towards where its mate is, which is currently attacking Gore. I've just realised that Charles should have had advantage because you're still technically prone, but it doesn't matter.
Charles got his jaw knocked off. There's a lot going on.
He's still hit. It's fine.
Roll it again. Go for your crit.
Yeah, go on.
Okay, I'll roll it again to see if he crits. He does not. I did roll a 19 though.
Oh,
I was lucky. But the final dire wolf will come into Gore and will make an attack with advantage because of pack tactics. So that is a 15 to hit, 17 to hit, or a 10 to hit. So 17 hit you.
It does.
This is a D10 damage, which is going to be 6 + 3, so 9 points of piercing damage, halved for you. You would get the prone condition, but you already have it.
Just jumping on my back.
Yes. Amazing. So that is the end of round 1, and I think at that point, before we move back to the top of the initiative and to Autumn's turn, we will take our break, I think, because we may have gone over a little bit, or we're just at the 1.5 hour mark. But anyway, we're going to go take a short rest. My players are going to need a short rest after this combat, or the characters will anyway. But we will be back in 5 to 10 minutes. See you in a bit. Welcome back, everybody. We have taken our short rest and we are going to dive straight back into the action. Before we do, however, I would just like to say that Spirit to Guardians has not changed from the previous edition. It's been reworded slightly, but it works in the same way that it did previously. So it doesn't quite work how I was thinking it would work with the way that Nick did Autumn's Aura thing. So hey ho, you live and learn. Anyway, we are going to jump straight back into the session. In the first half, our 3 adventurers were making their way to Phandalin when they heard a god-awful scream come from the town, approaching at night. They saw that the town was being accosted by 4 shambling undead, 3 wolves and 2 dire wolves. Fight ensured. 2 wolves died almost instantly. One due to a death stare, the other one due to having its back legs crushed. and we are going to dive straight back into combat at the top of the round with Autumn. Autumn, you have Alfred the wolf currently on you at the minute.
Lovely.
Dancing, although it looks scared.
Oh.
I will, as prone doesn't appear to have changed in any way, I will just use half my movement to please stand up and remove prone.
Yes.
And then, very, very simply, going to attack Alfred in front of me.
Okay, go ahead.
With an unarmed strike. Although I feel like if we're going to use up monk and stuff, I should maybe say like perhaps I pull out a dagger and use that, because at this point they've mentioned, for anybody who's doing this, any weapons you can use can be considered monk weapons and the martial feature, and therefore you still do it as if it's an unarmed strike effectively, so it will still do 1d6 damage.
Nice.
So effectively using a weapon in this form just for a moment. That's a big hit. That's an 18 plus 6, 24.
Oh, yes, that will hit.
Lovely. Let's see if I can... Okay, here we go. I forgot a few things last time. So, in all the many things that Autumn can do on her turn. So, she stands up and looks at this wolf's terrible dance partner and will do a feign kick over and then slash at it with a blade. This is doing 3 plus 4. I'll just double check my attack. 7 points of damage.
Very nice.
Because this is still within my form, I will make that. Let's go for acid damage. So as she swings round, the blade turns black, and he gets hit for acid damage. Here are the two things I forgot. With my aura, once per turn, I can attack with extra damage on top of the aura doing damage as well. So there's an additional 2 points of radiant damage for a total of 9.
Is this another death stare?
Yes. Yeah. In fact, no, it's not going to be. The 2 points of radiant damage are going to be, as she said, a terrible dance partner. And it's a scathing words almost. It's kind of bardic, but not really. It's from the monk. So, with the slash of the acid blade. But also as part of the, I didn't know this thing, the elemental attunement, he's in my face. I don't like him being in my face. Can you please make a DC strength save?
He would do if you didn't just kill him.
Oh, never mind. In that case,
get over there. Go.
If it blasts him 10 feet away, so I blast the body 10 feet away.
It's another instance of you got it down to 2 hit points left, and then your aura finished it.
Amazing. There we go.
As you say, terrible dance partner. It registers that as a really bad threat and goes to run away as you feign your attack and strike at it with your acidic blade, dropping it to the floor. Very much a dead.
Lovely. Since that was one attack, I've got 20 feet of movement. Who's within... Well, hold on. I've got 15 foot range. What can I get at?
Gore is within 10 feet of you, and Gore currently has a zombie and currently has 2 zombies, because the other zombie that was frightened is still in Gore's face because it hasn't had its turn yet, so it hasn't run away. So you've got 2 zombies and 2 direwolves around Gore at the minute.
Well, that's a lot.
And Gore is still prone at the minute.
Probably taller than you lying down, but still.
Yeah. How, I suppose how's... Oh, no, I think I need to do that as an action. I'm just having a look at one of my little features. But I think it's an action and not a bonus, in which case that's not going to work right now. Yes, I'll save that for later. The zombie that's not frightened, I presume I can see, which is in Gore's face, which one is and which one isn't frightened. I would like to attack the one that isn't frightened, basically, to help knock that one down.
There's not much in terms of, like, because they're zombies, there's not much in their facial features that shows that they're frightened. But Basil, is there any sort of magical effect that might be, because it's sort of like a charmed condition, isn't it? Really, where they're frightened. Is there something?
I think because I've been sort of like talking about like the radiant magic. Let's say that they are now like their eyes are glowing with like holy light, and the eyes are like, let's say they're also doing like spirally scared, like panic. So yeah, it's sort of like it's a very obvious status effect of going, that thing's scared.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can attack the one that is currently not scared, which is Charles.
Lovely. Sorry, Charles. I will do, attack at that one. That's a 17 on the dice to hit.
That hits. Is this your bonus action attack?
This is my bonus action.
Flurrying of blows in?
No. I'm just going to do one unarmed attack bonus action at this point. Because I want to see if I can make this thing work. So that will be 3 plus 4, that's 7 points of. Let's make it fire damage. This one, and it's a kick. It's going to be like a high kick that sends like a fling of fire directly at it.
Nice. You cause its clothes to sort of what it has remaining of clothing to sort of ignite and flame, and you can smell rotten flesh coming off of it, burning rotten flesh, shall I say?
Amazing. Let me double check that this isn't just something I can only do once a turn, because if that is the case, I believe with that attack, I'd like to try and do the same thing. Can it make a strength saving throw?
It can indeed. This one has enough hit points.
Yeah, exactly.
Strength saving throw. Oh, these things aren't too bad at that. That is going to be a 13 plus 1 for a 14.
Oh, yeah, no, it beats it. Never mind.
Okie dokie. So, what was the cool thing that you wanted to do? Just let everybody know. What was it?
So, because of the way that works, for some reason it's a push basically, but it's a special one. Elemental strikes push. When you deal damage with elemental strikes, which is this, you can make an unarmed strike, which does any of these things. You can force the target to make a DC 12 strength saving throw. I believe that's down to my wisdom plus proficiency, so that will get better with time. And on a failed save, the target is moved 10 foot toward or away from you. So I was going to pull it away from Gaw towards me so that it ended in my radiance, and then would just take the radiant damage and possibly explode.
Nice.
But I've also... Sorry, I was also going to say, I just realized that my wording on my thing is every creature in my aura, so I'd like to make sure I am not 10 feet... I'm not... Gaw and Basil are not within 10 feet of me, because otherwise they'll take the radiant damage.
You don't get to choose, it's just any... No. Ooh, okay.
Yeah, okay. So I'm staying 10 feet away from them, at least currently.
Okay, awesome. So you're within 15 feet of Charles to make the attack at him, keeping yourself... Gaw can just feel this radiant light on the top of your frills, but it's not within range to actually deal damage to you.
So,
brilliant. That's your turn. So all of the wolves are dead, so that makes it Gaw's turn.
Ha ha ha.
You have got a plethora of options in front of you. You can see that one zombie has got a twinkle in its eyes. Another one has just had its skin and clothing singed by autumn, and you've currently got 2 direwolves circling around you, and you currently have the prone condition.
Mm-hmm. Well, I will definitely be standing up, just shrugging the wolves off me, which, using Goliath as a base, I actually have 35 feet of movement, so that's used up 17 and a half.
17 and a half. I believe it's rounded down, I want to say. So
generally, I think, yeah.
Yeah. There are some abilities that round up now, which is very peculiar. Rounded down. So, yeah.
So yeah, I stand up, and I would like to try and punt one of these wolves.
Awesome. Now,
yes,
we have got 2 dire wolves here. Mm-hmm. Josh has to do the usual thing and give them a name. I believe I said what A is. A is Alvin, and B is going to be Buggy the dire wolf.
Buggy the dire.
I've been watching a lot of One Piece.
Well, yeah, I've very much a one-trick pony. I'm going to do my one trick. I'm going to smack it with my maul.
Go ahead and make your attack roll.
Shall do this. Oh, it's a high number. It's a 21.
That is going to hit the dire wolf.
Please, could you make your... I'm going to double check that I get to do this every time, actually, because I'm starting to wonder whether I can only do it so many with
the weapon property. I believe it's on every attack. You can choose to do it.
Looks like, yep, con save then, please.
Awesome. Con save. These things, cons are a little bit better. Not when I roll a 4 for a 6.
Nope. See how you like being prone. Ugh. But I will also do 8 plus 12 points of damage. That's not 8 plus 12. That is 8 plus 4, so 12.
Yeah. And this one was against Buggy. So Buggy is...
Got to put Buggy out of his misery.
Not quite dead, but takes a heavy amount of damage from that. Not quite at the bloodied point yet, but as you smack him across the head towards the neck area, connecting with one of the top parts of his leg, he crumples down to the floor in the prone condition. But you can see that he's slowly starting to get back up, but is suffering from prone. So.
Fortunately, I am holding a two-handed weapon, so I don't think I can make a bonus action attack. So my bonus action in this instance is just me scowling.
Awesome. So, at the end of your turn, that makes it...
Ooh. You just reminded me of my... World Tree Barbarian thing. So I'm on the cusp of 10 foot away from Autumn, correct?
Yes.
Nick, would you like to roll 2d6, and that is the 10 HP that you are getting from my kind of lost in timeness. Just this kind of frosty rime is slightly emanating off me. For some reason, that is healing for you.
It's like mint. It's cold. It's like
menthol, straight to the brain.
Why is it I picture that whenever you rage, the Jurassic Park theme plays?
Yeah.
After watching you beautifully swing the mace and feeling your amazing aura, I say, now that's a dance partner. And that's 10. Thank you. I rolled a 6 and a 4.
Wow.
That's amazing. 10 temporary hit points. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Very much a smash in the face, but yet has support, Barbarian.
Hell yeah.
Love that. Amazing. So at the end of your turn, that makes it Albert the zombie's turn. And this Albert is the one that has the twinkle in his eyes and runs away, which would allow Gore, if he wanted to make an attack of opportunity.
Interesting. Oh, so it's not forced movement?
It's not no, it has to use it.
It has to move.
Yeah, has to move.
It will lose it if you attack, but
yeah.
I'm happy for it. It's always good to put above the table and be like, I'm happy for these things to be hit.
Let's show the viewers how opportunity attacks work.
Yeah.
So having kind of smashed this thing and seeing a zombie kind of leave my range, I literally just kind of reached to my back where there is kind of a small holster of javelins, and I will just say, so yeah, I will roll that.
Stab it in the head with a javelin.
Pin it.
Probably overconfident there. I rolled a 3, making it a 7 to hit.
So, see, this is the one thing that I don't understand with how they've done the equipment in the new edition. Is in the old edition, the classes that got javelins as a starting equipment would get 4. Now they've given it so a lot of those classes now get 8. You still can't hit with javelins. No one can. Even in a melee attack, you still can't hit with them.
That's why they've given us so many, because we're just like, no.
You don't use it because you're technically not throwing extra opportunity attack, but you go to jab it and it just catches into the back of its head. It takes off a bit of the skin of the scalp as it pulls away and carries on running. You've got the scalp on the back of on the end of your javelin.
Does it keep running though? Because it's been attacked. So as my thing dropped, and does it suddenly stop and be like, hey?
Does it say that when it takes damage or when it is attacked?
It takes any damage.
So it didn't take damage.
So it doesn't take damage. It got a little bit of flesh taken off, but yeah, that's
just
again,
for flavor.
That's good to check as well, where you just be like, if it doesn't hit, it doesn't count. And you're like, oh, that's good, yeah.
No harm, no foul.
No harm, no foul. So that one keeps running away, and we will move over to Direwolf A, Alvin, who again is going to make an attack against Gore.
Mm.
This will be with advantage because its mate is within 5 feet.
Do it.
That is a that's a 2 for a 7 to hit, or that's 2 digits there. I can see that. A 17 to hit. No, 16 to hit. Sorry, because it's +5. I rolled on
16
11.
hits.
16 hits. Okay, so that's going to be a D10 of damage. That's a D100.
Do it.
That is that is 5 points of piercing damage, and you have the prone condition again.
Down I go.
There's no save against this. It's just you are prone.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which is
this is
awkward.
interesting.
But obviously you half that down to 2, and then I don't know why I was going to roll again because it's Basil's turn.
Okay, so we got some zombies running away. Charles the zombies. We got
Charles the zombie is the only one that's not running, and he is bloodied.
I will start by using a cantrip, which is Holy Word. And
Yes!
This is the one I talked about earlier, where I'm like, it's a secret. So I lift my shield up and I quietly say, we can't let the zombies know what my secret word is. For the audience, it's please, the most powerful of all. But it has to have the intention. So if someone says you want more soup and I say please, it doesn't do damage. Anyway, using my holy word does a 22 hit.
Oh, it's not a saving throw. That's good. Did you say 22? That hits, yes.
22. So the zombie takes 6 points of radiant damage.
Okay.
Is it still up, Josh?
It dies. Now.
Right. I will just quickly speed in and say, if it hadn't, if you are undead, undead, fiend, or fey, Holy Word will reduce speed by 10 feet, and it can't take reactions to the end of its next turn.
Ooh, that's really good.
That's quite good if we were trying to be just yelling holy words and like, no attack of opportunity. So...
zombies still have their undead fortitude feature, which says if damage reduces the zombie to 0 hit points, it must make a Constitution saving throw with a DC of 5 plus the damage taken, unless the damage is radiant or from a critical hit. So, on a successful save, the zombie drops to 1 hit point. But because that killed him with radiant damage, Charles dies.
Charles has the one moment of like the light of Torm in his eyes, and he's like, "Oh, such comfort!" And then collapses. Cool.
Into the mud.
Return to the mud. What else is there? There's still a wolf, right?
There's 2 dire wolves currently circling around Gore, who is now prone again. You've watched Gore run in, attack, get knocked down, get back up, get knocked down. Again, it's that song.
Never going to bring him down. I'm going to use my bonus action to... Now I've still got my spiritual weapon up to just... again, don't want to get too meta, but how sort of healthy are the wolves looking?
The wolves, one of them is getting close to bloodied, and the other one is untouched.
I'm going to go for the nearly bloodied one. Maybe if we can take it down. So spiritual weapon. The fist comes 15 to hit.
15 just hits.
Ooh. So for my force, that is 8 points of force.
Bad doggy.
Very bad. Yes. Yep. 8 points of force. Boom,
now
boom.
it's bloodied.
Excellent.
smack it in the rear end to try to sort of get it to stop what it's doing. That causes it to jump up a little bit and yelp. It's looking bloodied. It's got blood pouring out of its mouth.
Spanking this wolf now, am I?
Yeah, you're trying to teach it to be good, to behave.
Am I?
I don't know. Are you?
I don't know if redemption's. To be fair, those zombies are running for the hills.
Yeah.
Which that's going to stop in about 50 seconds, and they're going to come back and be like, "Wait, hold on." Yeah, bad wolf.
They'll be dead by then.
Bad wolf.
Yeah.
Is that the end of?
Yes. So that's my bonus. That's my action. Still got my reaction.
Awesome. So just to clarify, the turn undead is they have to be, when they move, they have to be 30 feet away from you before they can carry on acting normally.
Within 30 feet, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So they have frightened and incapacitated while within 30 feet of you.
I might move. Okay, I'm not getting too close to Autumn because Autumn's, but I'm going to kind of drive these zombies up into the mountain.
Yeah,
so,
you can do that. Yeah. So you move just on the cusp of it. So, or however far you want to move, should I say? So it's their turn now, and they're going to carry on running 20 feet.
Yeah, just in the background, folks. I've said I love in battles where it's like in Street Fighter, where you just see stuff happening in the background. These two are fighting, and you just see me clumping, going, "Come back! I'm gonna get you." Yeah. So I'm gonna stay. So I'm close enough that I can heal my allies, but also to just drive them, kind of like corralling them again, like going, gone. Out there. Yeah.
They disappear behind the buildings, behind some of the buildings, and begin making their exit out of the northeastern part of the town. You've entered through the west; they're leaving out of the northeast.
Cool.
So you'll probably, if you leave the town and make your way towards Tribal, you'll probably bump into them again.
True, but the civilians are out of the way, right?
Civilians are out. They're all still within the marketplace area. They're all either trying to clamber into the buildings or they're hiding under market stalls and stuff.
Like I've said, I'm happy if we just want to kill these creatures, but to just drive them out. We could drive them out of town at least.
And just for the aesthetic, rain starts to pour down. Just to make things really cool.
As a red dragon, just the steam coming out of my nose. That's just from my... Oh, breath weapon. Yeah, I could do a breath weapon. I'm on you, zombies. As just fire starts gathering, I'm like, actually, now I'm not near the buildings. Interesting, very interesting. If we get to next turn, of course.
Yes. So that's the zombies done. We move to the next direwolf, Buggy, who is going to make an attack roll against. It's currently prone, isn't it? So it's going to use half its movement to get up, and it is actually. I'll tell you what I'm going to do for it, because it's taking a heavy amount of damage.
It can just leave.
Yes, that's exactly what it's going to do. It is seeing it's heavily damaged. It's limping on one leg currently. One of its legs was severely damaged from where it got smacked in the side is severely damaged. So it lets out a whimpering howl and begins to flee. I believe you've got your attack of opportunity, Gore, or did you use that?
I'm trying to remember whether the zombie was before my last turn or after.
Yeah, actually, it was directly after you. So yeah, your reaction's been used. So the wolf will move away. Now, in the direction that it is going to flee, because Basil has moved around to keep the turn undead going, the wolf can't exit that way. So the only other way for it to leave is going to be from a southern direction, and that means it's going to have to pass through Autumn's aura. Does it take the damage when it just...
The aura only does damage at the end of my turn.
Okay, so it is going to move. It's 50 feet, and it is going to basically move and dash and bolt it out of the town. So it moves 100 feet to the south, leaving its friend, its mate, in in the shit, basically.
Oh, dear.
That is the only thing that is currently a threat in the marketplace at the moment. All of the other zombies have ran off. It's up to you if you want to chase them down. But we will move to the top of round three, sorry, and it is Autumn's turn.
Amazing. So, it's Basil's zombies, basically. And the new farm that we're starting outside of town. Zombies seem bad. Autumn isn't a fan of zombies. So, she would like to chase them down, please. How far away are they?
So currently, they were 40 feet away from Basil when Basil was at the back of the party. So that would have made them 20 feet away from you. They've moved an additional 20 feet, so they're now 40 feet away from you.
Amazing. I mean, I have 40 feet of movement because monk, so...
And 15 foot of reach, so...
Yeah, exactly.
Just come dancing after, like, hey, guys.
Hey, guys, I'm going to come get you.
Woo!
Guys,
yes, watches Direwolf run away, and that's fine. Come along, girl. We have zombies to deal with, and leap, plie, spin, spin, leap, handstand, cartwheel, throw. Oh, hello, Basil. Just passing through, land in between all of them.
Oh, she's so talented.
And effectively pulling daggers, and just going to do like lots of flinging around like that and extending of limbs and try and get them all. She's very much landing in the middle of them all. Is the idea, if possible. And we'll make a first unarmed attack against who's here. Arthur's gone. No, what's their names?
So Albert is here. We've then got B, who is going to be. Somebody give me a B name.
Beatrice.
Beatrice. Yeah, we haven't had a femme representing name yet, so we've got Beatrice, and then we've got D, who is going to be Donald. No, Dixie.
Dixie.
Dixie. There we go.
Yeah, well, because Dixie sounds great, we're starting with Dixie.
Amazing.
I like your vibe, Dixie.
Yes, love it. Let's see how well you dance. And first attack is at Dixie.
Fantastic.
First attack doesn't land on Dixie. That's a 10.
That actually hits. Their AC is 8.
Okay. All right. Okay. And with the rain falling and the steam from Basil, which I am perceiving as like, I love your aesthetic, Basil. Smoky. The clouds, yes. Lightning damage. And I'll fling a lightning bolt. Not literal lightning bolt, but this unarmed strike or monk weapon strike is going to be lightning based. That's a bad roll. That is 5 points of lightning damage.
Amazing.
Yes. And I'll do the 2 points of radiant for my turn onto Dixie. Can Dixie make a strength saving throw, please?
And indeed. That's a natural 20 for a 21.
Doesn't move anywhere, it just stays where she is. Or they are. And then, because I haven't done it, and it is a classic, bonus action and focus point to flurry of blows on somebody else.
Yay.
Go ahead. Would you like to do your flurry of blows on one zombie or on 2 zombies?
I think it's got to be 2. I've got to hit every single one of them with a hit. Bam, bam, bam. In a real spin around, kind of slashing at them. So let's see. I'll roll both dice for this. Let's see what we get. Ooh, that one hopped out. So I will roll that. That was, I think they're going to hit 7 plus 6 for 13, and a 14 plus 6 for a dirty 20.
Yep, they will both hit. We'll go in order. So we'll start with Albert first. What damage does he take? Neither of these have been wounded, by the way.
Okie doke. Albert, oh my god, I'm so excited. I'm throwing my dice everywhere. I'm so sorry, everyone. Oh, let me get it back. Oh god. There we go. Albert takes 7 points of thunder damage. The only one I've not done yet.
Nice. And you can only do your radiant thing once per turn, can't you?
Yes. Yeah, I can only do the direct damage like that once per turn, so there's no extra.
So,
And then another one for... Oh, same. Both of these are 7 points of... I'll make it thunder damage. It's like a a spin like that, and two sort of waves of thunder damage flow out from me to smack these two zombies.
As you dive into the middle of them, your radiance emanating from you, the lightning hits into the first zombie, and then it's almost like in those. I've been playing a lot of the Ghosts of Tsushima game at the moment. And it's very much a lot of the sort of when you go to strike between different enemies, there's like that crack of lightning and thunder that flashes as your position moves and you're hitting another one, and then it happens again as you spin around and hit another one. They're all of the turn undeads have now ended on them, so they are all going to begin to turn to face at you. But they have, all three of them have taken heavy damage. They're all on the cusp of being bloodied.
That'll be the end of my turn. Are they all within 10 feet of me?
They're all within 10 feet of you.
They all take 2 points of radiant damage.
So I would say because math in my head is terrible, I would say they are bloodied now.
Nice.
Again, math is terrible, but they're nearly dead anyway, so yeah. Amazing.
That's me.
Okay, so at the end of your turn, it is Gore. Gore, you are prone. You have a wolf in front of you that has just watched its mate run off and is now considering doing the same.
Okay. I think then I'm going to do one of the special rage things. So when raging, I would like to make an ability check to try and intimidate using my strength.
Awesome.
Nice.
So,
I love the sound of this. Please do it.
yeah, I'm just going to try and scare it off.
Yeah.
Right. So strength check, and I do have intimidation proficiency as well. So I might just roll my athletics and then it's the same thing.
When you use this skill in this way, does it add your strength to the ability score along with charisma that is normally applied to intimidation, or does it replace it?
I believe it's replace.
Okay.
It's make it as a strength check, even if it normally uses a different ability. So
Nice.
that,
Okay, cool.
to me, I read as that. But that was a healthy 15 with
15?
my strength instead.
Amazing. So I'm going to make a roll against that, a saving throw roll against that.
I haven't gotten up yet, so I'm literally still on all fours, and I'm just like...
Which is terrifying, especially for a wolf. We're like, oh, what is that?
I was basing the DC of the wisdom saving throw on what you rolled. I rolled a 13. I have a +1 to wisdom for a 14. You rolled a 15, so this wolf is intimidated, and it can't make a movement as a reaction. But, oh no, it is its turn. No, it's your turn. On its turn, it is going to run. It has the frightened condition.
Good.
Cool. As it is frightened, and I will assume that, as a primal being myself, I know that, I have cowed this creature. I am going to let it be. I'm going to stand up and I'm going to stride over to... I'm assuming neither of my companions ended their turn within 10 feet of me.
No.
No.
Because you both moved past.
Yeah.
It is a shame. But yeah, I'll stride the...
However, with the movement that you have left, you could stride in a direction to get yourself within 10 feet of Basil.
Yeah, I think because having stood up, I've got to walk towards anyway.
Yeah.
I will stand 10 foot away from Basil, look over towards Basil. Sup.
Hey.
Draw a javelin and I'm going to lob it at a zombie.
At Basil. Change my mind.
Sup, here's your 10 pinpoints.
Healing javelin. Oh.
Are the zombies within 30 foot, which is the normal range of my javelin?
Yes.
Sweet.
If you've moved to a point where you're within 10 feet of Basil, they're within 20 feet of you.
Sweet. Well, yeah, I will throw my javelin, and I think I trust my own dice at this point. Yay! That is a non-natural dirty 20.
Fantastic. That hits. A javelin hits, everybody.
Sweet.
It's finally happened.
Yes.
So I will roll that thing.
Which
And also-
zombie are you targeting, I should ask? Are you targeting Albert, Beatrice, or Dixie?
I think Beatrice.
Yeah, sounds good.
Now, I also have Javelin Mastery.
Ooh.
And with Javelin, it's the slow condition. So if you hit a creature with a Javelin and deal damage to the creature, you can reduce its speed by 10 foot until the start of your next turn.
Amazing.
The creature is hit more than once with this property, the speed reduction doesn't exceed 10 foot.
No.
However, I would also like, because I want to show off, to use my Frost's Chill power. So when I hit a creature with an attack roll and deal damage to it, I can also deal a d6 of cold, which will be represented by this nice see-through dice, and reduce its speed by 10 foot, which will stack if my reading is correct.
That is correct. That will stack. And a zombie only has 20 foot of movement, so as you've hit it, you're going to deal damage to it. If you don't kill it, its movement will be 0.
So the base javelin damage was 8. The additional cold was 6.
Sorry, Beatrice.
You know what?
Javelin pierces it, and then frost just kind of appears around it to slow it down. But is it dead?
You know, in Final Fantasy X, where you overkill something and it gets the overkill thing come above its head, that happens now as the javelin just and pins it to the ground. It is Beatrice is dead
And frozen in place.
Yep, for the next 1,000 years.
Movement is still 0.
Do you like?
Amazing.
Beautiful.
That's solid.
And I think that's pretty much everything I can do. So
Fantastic. Okay, so that makes it Albert's turn. Zombie Albert is going to make an attack roll at the thing that attacked it last, which is Autumn.
Rude.
So Autumn, does a 17 hit you?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Again, put my dice away. That is going to be 6 points of bludgeoning damage as it slams into you, because again, doesn't have a bite attack.
That is fine. I will take that. It's wonderful memory of Gau's aura takes away some of that damage.
Amazing. One thing before I continue, what was the total damage you just did, Sean?
in total,
Yeah.
14.
14. Okay. I'm going to make it. I'm going to try and do the Undead Fortitude for Beatrice. The
Nice.
DC for it is 5 plus the damage taken, so the DC is going to be 19.
It could happen.
It could happen. But a 16, zombies have a +3 to Constitution, so I
So
rolled a
really?
19.
It did happen.
So Beatrice is still
Beatrice is still alive with 1 hit point, but
Yes!
has 0 movement.
Yeah, pinned and frozen in place. Like,
So,
Oh, I love that. That's brilliant.
but
that's
still
brilliant.
trapped there for 1,000 years.
So, Albert does 6 points of piercing damage to Autumn. That's his turn done. The final direwolf does the exact same thing as the previous one does, and moves and dashes 100 feet to chase after its mate, and is now out of the combat. We now move to Basil's turn. I will say that even though Beatrice is alive on 1 hit point, it is not within range to make an attack against Autumn because it can't move to get to the range. So it's pretty much a sitting duck where it is.
Breath weapon. Don't want to hit my beautiful associates, but I know young Autumn is still rocking and rolling in the midst of things. Is there a because I can either do a cone or a line? Is there a way? Well, where can I position myself that I can hit but not hit either of my friends?
With the movement that you've got, I could say you could quite easily position yourself where you can hit both zombies with the line breath weapon attack without hitting any of your allies, or Autumn specifically, because Autumn's closest.
I mean, I don't want to hit anyone. I'm aware Autumn's in the midst, but it's like, in particular, Autumn, who is just really, again, just
dancing around them. If anything, if you were to fire the breath weapon, I could just imagine Autumn sort of jumps and flips around it and then ducks underneath it.
Yep.
That's what's going to happen now. I'm going to let again. I didn't want to hit Autumn, but I do want Autumn to be able to get. I was about to say headshots, but not good. It's an action shots. I can put this in my portfolio. Can these horrible zombies please make a dexterity saving throw, please?
Oh yeah, they can. They can certainly try. The first one rolled a 12 for a 10.
For a 10.
For a 10.
That's a failure.
The second one rolled a 2 for a 0.
I like to think that's Beatrice, who is just there going...
Yeah, because Beatrice... Oh, that's the point. Beatrice would have had disadvantage on it. I'm going to see if I get a natural 1.
But that's just, yeah.
I did not. But Beatrice got a 0.
So these...
Can't move.
Horrible zombies do take... it's not the worst. It do take 3 points of fire damage. It's just
okay. So Beatrice needs to make another Constitution saving throw,
and is both frozen and now on fire.
And the DC for it is now 8. Rolled a 17 for a 20. So Beatrice is still alive on 1 hit point,
but is on fire.
Is on fire. The other one took 3 damage and goes down to... It is severely bloodied now. I don't know if that's a thing that you say, but it's a thing I'm saying.
It's what you've said.
I feel like poor Beatrice is on a flaming pyre, but encased in ice. It's just getting frozen and burnt at the same time.
Ice candle.
Yeah, there's loads of steam coming off as well.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Autumn, the smell is horrid.
Sorry about that, Autumn. We'll go get some soap after this.
Yes,
I assume I'm not within melee distance.
No, not within melee distance.
How hurt are my associates?
On a scale of 1 to 32, one might call me a 19.
Okay. Autumn, have you taken any?
I did take a bit of a scratch at the beginning, and then was bolstered in heart and mind by Gore, and that's still standing for the moment. So
okay, so part of my feat, where it's being an initiate, being a cleric, I get a free use of a spell that doesn't take a spell slot and doesn't take a components, and it is Healing Word. So I'm thinking I might... Blessings of Torm be upon you, brave dinosaur. As you, with my bonus action, you gain 8 hit points.
Going off of that, Gore, did you say during your turn that you gave your temp hit point thing to Basil as you were moving past?
I might have moved.
It's at the beginning of my turn.
Oh, okay, and nobody was in. Oh, okay,
so
I thought you could move and then use it.
Towards, yeah. But if Basil, ends within 10 foot of me, which, as we've been travelling together, will presumably know is a good idea.
Yes.
Then I will give Basil the benefit next time.
I will. Yeah, I think having that, but I've done my breath weapon and then I've moved slightly back, measuring out and hop, hop, hop. There we go. Exactly 9.7 feet.
You are
outside of mace swinging distance, but within yummy healing distance.
Something I learned that supposedly they base the 5 foot thing on the scouts, that when you've got a knife and they're if you swing it round, it's 5 feet. Could you hit anyone? And so they're so it's just the idea of a scout with a knife spinning in a circle going, and that's within knife distance, never move within 5 feet. So yeah, now 9.7, exactly. We're being crunchy. I'm and now some healing from a magical tree.
Amazing. Is that everything on your turn, Basil?
That is my action. That is my bonus action. I still have my reaction.
Amazing. We now move to Dixie's turn. Dixie is a mindless zombie, so will only run if Turn Undead is active. So we'll try to make a slam attack against Autumn.
Go for it.
That is going to be an 8 to hit you.
No, sorry.
No. That is the end of Dixie's turn. We move back to the top of the rounds, beginning of round 4. Autumn, it is your turn. You currently have a very, very stuck zombie that is currently on fire and frozen at the same time, and another one that just tried headbutting you and failed to do so.
I kind of want to be. Tried to headbutt me and failed to do so. Autumn is going to show her less scrupulous self for a moment. Say, no, dear, like this, and headbutt the zombie. For an unarmed strike, because these count. Yes.
It's unarmed, it's true.
It is, there we go. That is a 19 to hit.
19 is going to hit.
And with my forehead, I do 7 points. Let's definitely make this thunder damage.
Oh, yeah. As the thunder damage goes off, that is enough to kill this zombie. However, it needs to make a DC 12 Constitution saving throw, otherwise it is still alive on 1 hit point.
Yeah, go for it.
That is a 10 plus 3. What did I say the DC was? 12.
Yep.
Yeah, so 13 I rolled. It's still alive on 1 hit point. It had 3 hit points left originally.
It's all right. We'll stay. Yeah, it's fine. I don't have to worry about that. We'll stay here. So yeah, she can stay there. That's fine. And then I will turn to Albert.
Albert, yeah. No, Albert's dead. Oh no, Albert is still alive. Yep.
Albert. There's a lot of owls today.
Yeah. A lot of owls.
And there's owls in my face as well, actually. And just yes, this is going to be another unarmed strike. Let's be honest. There's not much more that's going to be. Let's see if I can hit with this one. Oh yeah, natural 17.
All that hits.
That's it. Are there any other sort of? I mean, I don't have to do any other attack. I'm just trying to work out if there's anything to showcase to the lovely audience. But I think I've done pretty much everything I can do.
You've done your elements.
Yeah.
Done all of them.
I've been through all the elements. This is a bonus action, unarmed strike. The only other thing I've got is I could use the focus point to disengage and get away, but as I'm being radiant aura, I don't really want to leave anybody right now. So it's just another singular unarmed strike, which is what I'm going to do. There we go. Well, that's a 6 on the dice and 4, so that's a 10 points of pick an element, everybody.
What have we've done fire, we've done ice.
We've done acid. I've used acid once and it was the knife. Yeah. This is going to be an acid one.
Yeah.
And this is I do a headbutt and then I fully just spin and towards Alfred, and it's like a flat palm strike. This is more monk than dancer in this moment, and it's a flat palm acid strike straight to the chest. But I will do the radiant damage on this one, so he gets 2 extra points and fizzles away through burning holy acid.
Yes. So doing that, he only had 6 hit points left. but doing that additional radiant damage means that he cannot make his undead fortitude save, so he dies as the acid goes into his chest and pretty much fatality, Mortal Kombat style, blows out his chest and back, and his heart just dissolves, or what was left of his heart anyway, and he just face first into the dirt.
Lovely. And then at the end of my turn, there's that pulse of a death stare these 2 zombies, and they take 2 points of radiant damage each.
Radiant damage, which they cannot. Yeah. So they both die as well, as you just stare at both of them, and they just
yeah. I'll turn off my aura at that moment as well when we're done.
And job done.
And job done. That is the end of combat.
We do a final little dance.
You hear from one of the bards in the tavern.
Oh. Just for reference, I am going to be using my bonus action from this point on for 10 minutes to keep my rage active, just in case.
You're just gently slapping yourself like.
There's some really serious conversations happening, and every now and then you just see Gore go nipple pinch. just grunts to keep the rage going. As the combat has died down, the citizens that are out in the streets come out from their particular hiding holes, and one of the larger buildings opens its doors, and out steps a man, slightly older. This is Toblin Stonehill, who is the innkeeper, and he's come out of the inn, and he walks over and goes, thank you very much for all of the for scaring those terrible creatures away. We must get it. Is anybody injured? We can please come into the drinks on us. Please come in.
Thank you, much appreciated. A couple of the wolves did get away, but they're badly injured, so hopefully they're not going to be a problem for you good folks.
Oh, that's fine. Thank you very much for saving us, for helping the people out who couldn't get into their homes quick enough. Normally we don't come out at night, but we normally stay at home. But what's it called? The clocks changed and it got dark quicker, so we got trapped.
Franklin. Yeah, no.
Lord Neverember and his silly ideas of changing the times.
We all get really serious. We're like, you do not slander Lord Neverember. He's a saint. No. It makes I'm sorry. I think that's very funny. And they were like, well, we didn't look at the sky. We just walked out and were like, zombies. Zombie o'clock.
Great.
Yes. I guess we're gonna go have a little break in the pub.
Never say no to a drink after a performance.
No, I was sort of looking at it. I was like, that was solid. I think that went well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Josh, one of the things I can do angrily while I'm still raging is perception. So as we walk into the room, I'm just going to kind of burst in and just like,
please make me a strength-based perception check.
You just see someone very quietly putting the Necronomicon in a bag and going, ooh, too spicy for my blood now.
Hilariously, it's actually the same as if I were to do a normal perception check. I'm just angry about it. I rolled a natural 1. As I try and burst through the door, I get my horn stuck.
Bang your head on the door frame as you walk in.
I think both me and Autumn very politely duck under your arms.
Yeah.
A lot of people are startled from that because your look is very intense and you're also a dinosaur person. So
look, if you needed to keep the rage up, the about 2 minutes it's going to take you to get out of that doorway, it's going to keep.
They probably only accounted for kind of maybe 7 foot tall at most.
It's not just that, you got to get your frills in there as well.
Hello. Thank you.
Yeah, as we bring drinks back and we're shifting a table to get it in the doorway. And so, I need to go home. You're not coming out this way, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, mate.
Now, as you've entered into the tavern, you can see that there are quite a few people in here. Maybe they were patrons, maybe they're members of Toblin's family, not 100% sure. But they look like they were preparing for the zombies or the wolves to get into the tavern. And they've turned some of the tables over, and some of the tables have been broken, like the legs have been broken and are being used as makeshift weapons. And now that the conflict is finished, you can see that some of the people are beginning to prop the tables back up and are trying to repair the legs on them. They're trying to repair the legs on them before they prop the tables up, but the tables that are perfectly fine, they're propping up. So
as a cleric, I do have mending, so I think while I'm because it takes a minute of me holding on, so I've got a drink in one hand and hold. It's a bit like when you're doing super glue and you just have to hold it there, so you just see the magic because I'm basically helping fix the tables. Yeah.
There's quite a few tables that need fixing, and you watch as a lot of the one. Toblin goes behind the bar and grabs a couple of the toolkits that have got carpentry tools and stuff in, the woodcarver's tools, and starts handing them out to people who are going around and helping. And they thank you for using mending as well.
I will also jump in, as I have a woodcarver's set of tools, and I am proficient. So
Amazing.
that's
Now,
aid.
I was hoping you were going to say that because the tools in the new rulebook, and I'm sorry about this, but I'm really excited about this. The tools have changed in the new player's handbook for the better. Now, because you are proficient with carpenter's tools, aren't you, or woodcarver's tools?
Yes.
So because you are proficient with it, when you make a skill check using those tools, and because you are proficient, you now have advantage with the roll.
Oh.
When you roll it, which I think is really cool, especially when you come to things like thieves' tools and
I was going to
tinker's
say,
tools.
thieves' tool, lockpicking, yeah.
Yes.
Which is amazing. So I would like for you to roll me a woodcarver's tools check, which again is associated to a skill. Let us say it is maybe sleight of hand. If you have another skill that you'd like to put in place of it, you can.
Deception. I don't actually know what I'm doing.
I am going to quickly double check that the tools don't have a specific skill attached to them now, because they didn't before.
I mean, sleight of hand seems like the most probably one. I'm obviously wanting to make it work best for me, and I would say like acrobat, but still sleight of hand is dex, which works well for me, so that's fine.
Yeah, it's basically adding your proficiency and to whichever skill is appropriate, isn't it? So
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, that's fine then. Yeah. So
it's calling it manual trickery or legerdemain, which is a new phrase.
I think it's a phrase that's been used before, but it's just not used an awful lot.
I know they use it in
tools is dexterity based.
Okay,
perfect. So, that is my. That's funnily enough, I'm a monk. So that's the thing. It's a dexterity-based skill. Because you're proficient with it, you add your proficiency, but you also add advantage as well. That's brilliant.
Beautiful. Nice.
Which will make this a 21.
Amazing. So between the two of you, while Gore is...
and watch! Horns mean I can only see the ceiling.
Yeah.
Nothing up there.
Thank you, Gore.
You're doing the God's work, Gore.
So in the time that the mending takes, which I believe is still a minute, you've been fixing a table. Like in that time, Autumn, you've gone around and you have helped patch up basically a whole table and 4 chairs, and as they've all been brought up, put it back into their original positions. The table that you fixed has been slid closer to the door so that a drink can be placed down for Gore to get to.
Oh.
We really should help him.
Toblin comes over with some more drinks and is incredibly grateful for the help that you have provided the town of Phandalin, and he will look to you. Are you all passing through, or are you here to stay for a little bit? We have a number of different things going on in the town that we could do with some help with, if you'd like.
All good to stay.
Well, I mean, I think we need to fix that. But yeah, no, we were just passing through, looking for. I mean, has there been an uprising of zombies recently, or?
I mean, a lot of the undead have come from the Neverwinter Woods. They've been sort of. They've been pushed this way recently. We don't, and the wolves as well have been pushed this way. We're not quite sure what's happened in the Neverwinter Woods, but something's causing the wildlife to come this way. We've had a few problems with bandits recently, and we've had a couple of adventurers come in here around looking for the fabled lost mines that there are around here and all of that sort of stuff. So, and there's been sightings of a white dragon as well.
Oh wow.
Because, just roll all the adventures into one.
We're speed running this adventure at level 3. We're like, white dragon,
Let's go kill a dragon. Let's go kill this.
I mean, 2 of us speak Draconic. We're like, hey, you bad? Yeah. Boo. I'm happy to stick around. Got enough, I think Torm probably we would approve of helping people and fighting back the undead, so I'm happy to stick around and Autumn here always loves the opportunity to have a crowd.
Oh, yes, I would very much like to showcase some new dance moves I've been working on.
And we need to get Gore out that doorway.
Yes, might have to work on that. Perhaps I
Yeah.
should help. Hold on, Gore. I'll go over and try and help Gore, and I'm going to acrobatically bound my way up his very humongous frame to try and help pull the horns out of the sea.
Just before you go.
Hilariously, acrobatics is another one of the things I can do with my raid.
I don't. I think I sort of just tap Gore on the side and I'm like, you can do this. Guidance. So add a D4.
Has guidance changed?
It has. Read it.
Has.
Oh.
Ooh. You touch a winning creature and choose a skill.
Ah.
So it's not just random. Okay. Until the spell ends, D4 ability check on any ability check using that. Okay. So
As long as
concentration
you're
up to a minute.
concentrating on it. Okay.
Yes. So you doing acrobatics or? Yeah, there you go.
So is that continuous then? So instead of it being a one and done thing, for 1 minute while you're concentrating on it, anytime you make an acrobatics check, you can roll that D4.
As long as I'm concentrating.
Now, some people might see that as a nerf because it's not just guidance; it's a particular skill. But I think that's really good.
It has range now as well, does it?
Yes. No, it's touch still.
Oh, it's
Still
touch.
touch. Okay.
But I still think that's good. Like if you were going into like a conference, you're like, persuasion, good luck. I'm just going to sit here for a minute and drink.
Now, strength-based acrobatics is funny in this situation we're currently in. When not in this situation, it makes me think of like when the Hulk does his big leaps. It makes me think of that.
Yes.
But yes, make a strength-based acrobatics check with a D4 for guidance, and I would say advantage from the help action from Autumn, if that's what you'd like to do, Autumn.
Yes.
It's Autumn's clambering around going,
That is all right. Sweet. Also, I just quickly had a look up because I remembered what spell it was that has now got range. It's Spare the Dying.
Oh.
You can now spare the dying without going up close.
That's good.
Nice.
Oh, that's
Put
really good.
that in your back pocket.
Yeah,
While
because
I
Spare the Dying only had range when you were a Grave Cleric before. So that's nice that it now has it in general for clerics. I love that.
Right. So I don't have proficiency in acrobatics, surprisingly. So it's
Why
just
not?
going to be I know. Just going to be a straight up strength, so +2, but with the advantage and with the D4, correct?
Yes.
Right, well, it's a 4 on the D4.
Hey.
We'd love
It
to
was
see
an 11 and a 15, so I'll take the 15. So 15 +4 +2, 21 to acrobatically and angrily extricate myself from this doorway.
Please explain to me how that happens, especially while you have Autumn climbing on you.
I'm wondering whether it's kind of a case of like you're giving me a kind of a counterbalance. So like on my own, I'm kind of stuck, but you give me the kind of leverage to then lever myself out in the way and kind of do a little pirouette as well and stare down everyone who thinks that it's not the sort of thing that a 9-foot tall dinosaur should be doing.
Amazing.
I also like we have fought the greatest evils of a D&D game. We fought zombies and a door, and we have bested both.
Oh, that's brilliant. Okay, so as that happens, everybody... It's almost like because Autumn is sort of climbed up on you to help you, it's almost like you two, from everybody else's perspective, like you two have entered into a dance with each other, and it's less about... To them, it's less about you getting unstuck from the door and more about you're doing a performance for them. So as this happens and the pair of you are seemingly in this dance, the music starts to play up from the corner as a group of bards start playing music. And then as that happens, other people start getting up from fixing the tables and stuff and they start dancing around, and there's drinks that are being clinked together, and as Gore is pulled into the building, the doors shut, and there's just joy and happiness around. And I think at that point, that is where we're going to end the session. Now, you might think why are you ending the session now, Josh? We've got at least another possibly 20 minutes to go. Josh is kind of keeping track of the timer.
Yeah,
what I thought we would do for this last little section, normally when we finish a recording, we do like a stars and wishes type thing where we say what our favourite things were in the session and all of that sort of stuff. We're going to do something similar to that, except what this is going to be is what our thoughts and feelings are of these characters, and more so the new things that have come into with this new player's handbook. So I'm going to open it up to anybody to begin.
I don't mind jumping in first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, go for it.
My star in this case. I love anger reacting. Like rage outside of combat is brilliant because, like, I mean, barbarians often they get built as a combat monster, and then outside of combat, they don't do very much until you have to threaten someone, and then you've got to fudge the rule anyway. But now no more fudging, and you've actually got kind of legitimate uses for it. So yeah, that is a 100% gold star from me. I love it, especially when it goes wrong. And I guess my wish, I think I'd have to play with it a little bit more. It was quite annoying with the walls having no save against going prone.
Yes.
But at the same time, I think from a game design perspective, I can see why they probably did it, because prone previously wasn't that much of a threat. I was like, if I get knocked down, I get up again, boom. But like, they're not even being it's not just if I get, it's when I get. That's annoying. Yeah, I'm interested to see what comes of that.
I'm gonna, while you're saying that, I'm just gonna quickly load up the old direwolf stats, because I believe that they still had that, but
I think they still could knock things prone.
But I think there was a save involved with it.
And
I think there's a very similar thing about like shove, where so based on the long running campaign, where for mine was a lot of someone's trying to throw you off a cliff, I resist that. Now it would be like, oh no, it hit, you are now shoved 10 feet, 5 feet, and that's just it. While I miss the kind of like, I want to be able to contest this in some way. But yeah, I do think it's quite funny that this is the new way of doing it. You're just going to we're all going to keep being knocked prone and having to get up and go, stop it.
So, being I have them both open, I'll just go over what the actual changes are with the direwolf at the minute. So their AC is still 14. Their hit points are different. The direwolf in the previous edition had 37 hit points, and then I have 22.
Oh
wow. So that's a massive drop. So I think that's more to gear them up for as a more earlier level sort of thing, because I think the challenge rating now is 1, whereas the challenge rating before was also 1. Okay. They no longer have keen hearing and smell, so they don't have advantage on perception checks for those things. They've still got pack tactics. Their bite attack is different as well, whereas before it did 2d6 plus 3 damage. It's now 1d10 plus 3. The when you do the bite attack, it was a DC 13 strength saving throw or be knocked prone. I think I would have liked to have seen that saving throw to stay. That would be my thing with the direwolf, I think, because that was like, oh, you're prone again, oh, you're prone again, oh, you're prone again, and each time you've got to use half your movement to get up. So I can see that becoming a bit of a hindrance.
I suppose when we're higher level and the AC's higher, where you're just like, no, you're not knocking me over.
Yeah.
I'm planting my feet.
But also, like, it means you have to be a bit more tactical. It's not just I weave my way around the battlefield seamlessly. It's now like, oh, okay, I was planning. I had 15 extra feet of. Now I don't. Okay.
And just quickly before we move on with that, I'll just let you know what the differences are between the wolf and the two different wolves. AC is is 12 instead of 13. Okay. Now hit points are the same, movements the same. Again, keen hearing and smell's gone. The damage is different. In the old rules, it was 2d4 plus 2. It's now 1d6 plus 2. And the DC for the being knocked prone was DC 11, whereas again it is you just get knocked prone. So, and then we said what the difference was with the zombie. So,
Okay.
But yeah, was there anything else that you liked, Sean, about the barbarian, or anything else that you would like to see different?
I mean, I liked a lot of it. I was trying to not kind of just take up all of our 20 minutes, but yeah, the rage was the standout feature for me. I could have reckless attacked. I didn't even think about that, but I was too busy standing up.
Yeah.
Has reckless attack changed in any way, or was it still?
I think reckless attack at lower levels is still the exact same. It's when you get to higher levels, especially when you get brutal strike, that's when it's different. I think brutal strike should have been at an earlier. With what they've done with brutal strike, basically you can forego your advantage with your reckless attack to do additional effects, which you can then add weapon properties on top of that as well. I think that should have been at a lower level. I think you should have got that like at level 5 or level 6 to start off with, because that seems like along with the rage, seems like such a key feature for the barbarian. That's my personal opinion on it. But and my thought process with that is you rarely see campaigns, long running campaigns, go beyond level 10. So you've got to wait that long to get that one thing that's really awesome for the barbarian.
Yeah, that's fair. I think the other thing that I'm really enjoying is the weapon masteries. I think, there's been a gulf between martial classes and spellcasting classes for a while, and actually, okay, so martials tend to be a little bit stronger to start off with, and then they trail off. I can see the weapon masteries potentially lessening that gap if there is still any. But yeah, barbarian is a solid thumbs up and 3 horns stuck in the head frame for me.
Amazing. Right. So, who wants to go next? I was about to select somebody then, but who wants to go next?
Do you want to, or shall I?
Yeah, sure. Cleric, as I said, I haven't really played a cleric before, but really like. I like the sort of the spark of, again, I'm using the wrong names, but like the spark of divinity kind of thing, where it's not just it can be used for healing, it can be used for damage. The fact that the turn undead now, I like it also being the incapacitated thing, where it's not they're not just frightened, they cannot attack, and you just, like I was saying, like having about a minute of me just chasing them up a mountain and being like, no, just go. I also liked with my feet, where I was able to use that to just cast. As a warcaster, I can also now add Shield of Faith or Spiritual Weapon, and that's not concentration, and that's not a spell slot. So I don't need to like if I was casting Spiritual Weapon, I wouldn't need to concentrate. I could cast other things as well, which I think's quite fun. Yeah.
When you say warcaster, is that the feet warcaster, or is that a feat?
No, me as a war.
Oh, okay,
cleric,
right. Okay,
as a casting, yeah. No, okay. I don't know about, actually, again, like, I think maybe we need another thing where we're looking at some of these new feats and, like, what does warcaster do now?
Josh writes down another video idea.
Well, there's a lot, sort of like, and I was saying it's been really fun looking at, like, spells. Like I said, Holy Word, which I think is great fun, and especially now having the things, especially, like, we were very lucky that we were going against zombies, where it was like, oh yeah, Radiant's actually incredibly useful here. I mean, another thing that I didn't get a chance to do, but isn't that exciting, is as a war cleric, I can do bonus action attack, so, and that can be with a weapon or that can be unarmed. That's just nice to have an extra thing to do with the bonus action, to be able to, like, I'm gonna hit you with my mace. Yeah, I feel, again, having chosen a class I don't normally play, where I'm not like, I don't feel the big change, but I'm like, there's enough to be like, okay, yeah, I understand, like, turn undead. And I think it's also worth noting if you get to level 5 and you do the turn undead, it also does radiant or necrotic damage. I think it's a D8 for your class level, so
I think it's a D8 for your you get a number of d8s equal to your wisdom modifier.
Wisdom modifier, that's right, yes. Yeah.
But the key thing with that is that damage that's dealt that way doesn't break the turn undead condition on the zombies, so they take the damage and still run away.
I mean, that was, sort of having played with clerics before, that was an issue where I think we were saying it was up to like a quarter or quite a low level that would just evaporate the undead. But now it feels sort of very much like it's very good to be able to go, okay, you take your damage. If you survive this, you're still correctly terrified of me. Off you run. And again, I think I just liked the fact that I was able to just do Healing Word without taking up a spell slot. That's nice. There's again, I think my cleric thing where I think you could do a D8 plus your modifier, but you just be like, okay, I either do damage or I'm just going to heal. It's just nice to know there's other, because I think, as we said, sometimes clerics aren't willing to heal, and it doesn't feel like you're wasting stuff where you're being like, okay, no, this makes sense. I still do think it's very funny that it does take you your 3 levels to be like, oh, I'm working for the war god. Got it. Yeah. I don't know if that's just going to come from RP or us just being like very persistent and go, no, I don't know who my patron is. I refuse to acknowledge.
It does seem very much like it's geared that way, doesn't it? With the cleric, warlock, and sorcerer things where you don't know your patron bloodline or whatever. It's very much geared up that the first 2 levels the DM is to sort of like insert those things for you, depending on the backstory that you've given them or something.
It does feel like you could play the game where people have talked about having a cleric, a sorcerer, a paladin, but all of it coming from the same thing, but they don't realise. Yeah. It's like as soon as you hit level 3, it's like, oh, you're all working for this one being. It's like, hey guys. I think that was good. I think that was again, not having real connections to cleric. There wasn't anything I was like, oh, I feel that's missing. I feel, maybe when I play something like a rogue or warlock,
warlock.
Warlock. I'll report back when we play warlock and be like, who's my patron? What? I think, as we said, where it's like
set at level 2, so it's like.
I should do that just to be mean.
It was fun. It was, and I think also for me, it was very nice going up against the undead, where I was like, cool, having things that actually, I think as we connected, like, as Sean was saying about the weapons, similar with the spells, being like, oh, I think a lot of this, as we said, is coming down to movement, where we're being like, really. That said, I think it's very funny where we're like, oh yeah, we just knocked all the movement off this one zombie who just has to stand there. It's like, I just can't go anywhere. Excited to see where it goes, I think, but a good start. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Well, like, as we said at the beginning, I've not played Monk before. However, I've heard about some of the things, and I've played with a monk before, and monks are frequently regarded as being extremely overpowered. I'm not saying that they're not, because I could do far too much in one go, but that was also down to a couple of little things, like specifically choosing the subclass of the Warrior of the Elements, and also being an Aasimar. And they all felt really cool. It felt so good to do. I was already thinking when we had our little short break, I was going away and saying to my partner, I was like, I am keeping this, I'm making this character in a different campaign. I want to play this. I want to play this again. This is very cool. And I was always interested in a Monk of the Elements, Way of the Elements monk. But I remember hearing from a lot of places, and when I read it a few times, it gave you nothing of interest. Nothing really spoke through. And this one felt really cool. The fact that you can stay at range and throw out different forms of elemental damage just feels like what they were always aiming for with this kind of elemental monk. And that feels really, really cool. It's just an awesome thing to kind of get stuck into. I'd be interested to see how well it balances as it keeps going. It's great right at the beginning of the game, yes. I don't know where that will take it. We'll have to wait and see. And some of the stuff that has changed slightly, like the deflect attack instead of reflect missiles, that's great. And if it had worked out, this is like So a lot of that is a star. This is one of the wishes. I think from reading it, it's one of these ones where it feels like you have to exhaust the focus point to be able to redirect the damage. If you save on all the damage and knock it down to 0, what's interesting is you can then spend a focus point to force a DC save on another creature within 5 feet of you and redirect damage at that creature. Yeah. So this was the whole point. Like, it's insane, the amount of stuff I was doing at the beginning. And then when I did that reaction, I could have knocked it to 0 if I had, then also done extra damage. But it's not whatever damage is left over. I roll dice and it takes that amount of damage. The concern here, though, from the way I'm reading it, and this is my wish on that, is it is a, if they save, nothing happens. But you still have to spend the focus point. And that feels like I mean, yes, the monk can do a lot and the monk is overpowered, so perhaps it is fair, but it always feels bad, like when you're a warlock and you cast a spell and it just doesn't do anything and you have so few spell slots. It always feels like a real snub. And this, it never happened to me here, but I can already tell that that's something that would feel bad if you're expending your finite resource to do nothing.
There's a lot of features for a lot of the other classes. Like there is one for the barbarian that it gets at a higher level where it can use its rage to do something. If that thing fails, that rage isn't spent. So I'm surprised that's not in there for the monk, or the target takes half damage on a success is a surprise that it's not there as well.
I feel like that's exactly correct. I want to very quickly look it up, but in fact, no, it's right in front of me. Points. You can, if you reduce the damage to 0 via deflect attacks, you can spend a focus point to redirect some of the attack's force. If you do, choose a creature you can see within 5 feet of you, if it was melee, or a creature you can see within 60 feet of you that isn't behind total cover if the attack was ranged. The creature must succeed on a DC, in this case 12 dex, saving throw, or take 2d6 plus 4 damage of the same type dealt by the attack. That's it. So you have to spend the point to even begin the process, and if it doesn't work, your point is gone.
Yeah. So that sounds like if I was the DM with if that situation had happened and it had passed that saved, I probably would DM rule that it would still do half damage, at least, because I feel that's fair. Like you say, you're using that point, and there's no if the target succeeds on this save, you don't use the key point sort of feature. So I would at least say that it would at least take half damage from it, because you're still, yes, you're using the point to do it, but in terms of roleplay, from a roleplay perspective, you're still doing the motion to deflect that attack. So, yeah.
Do you get your points back on a short rest, though?
See, now that's where I'm then thinking this is why, because yes, also, monk gets them back on a short rest. Secondly, they go up as you go up levels, so that finite resource is going to keep increasing. It's not going to be that finite. And there's the insane metabolism mechanic, which I never had to use, but as we mentioned beforehand, is once per long rest. If, for instance, we were in a fight like this, and instead of going into the tavern, we're like, great, that's done. Oh, a horde of zombies suddenly turns up, and we have to roll initiative immediately and go straight back into fight. The monk gets the ability to regain all focus points and roll dice to regain health.
Oh, wow.
And this is what it does once per day when they roll initiative. So if you happen to be bombarded by wave after wave after wave of enemies, they have a workaround. So perhaps it isn't too much of a payoff, but it's just, I think it's a personal gripe of mine. I'm never happy when you get nothing out of putting in effort. It's always been a bit of a bugbear of mine.
The DM's like, that does nothing, and you're just like, oh wow, I'm so glad I'm here. Yeah,
but I think that for both sides, like when creatures get that as well, I'm like, well, that's kind of crappy for the DM. Why are you doing this? Everything I feel should have a bit of a consequence, unless that consequence is like counterspell, in which case, great, because you're both expending a spell slot for nothing to happen, but it's written into that. It has a point.
Counterspells change now, though. So
I was going to say,
if you use a spell to try and counter it, if that fails, you don't. It's the person. If you counterspell someone, so the person who casts counterspell still spends their spell slot, but the person whose spell was countered doesn't lose their spell slot now if it gets countered. So 9th level Meteor Swarm that gets counterspelled, that monster still has the 9th level spell slot.
I mean, that's both good as an ex-warlock player. That's amazing. But for everything else, that's dangerous.
It does remind me of like doing stuff where it being like, okay, we're burning through legendary actions. That's something where you're like, okay, at least we've burnt that spell off. But it's like, oh, I've still got my 9th level spell. Like, no, get rid of it. You don't need it. Yeah.
I will quickly bring it up just to read it out. I know Counterspell obviously didn't play.
Oh, I've got it up if you
go ahead. Yeah.
Quickly.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
You attempt to interrupt a creature in the process of casting a spell. The creature makes a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, the spell dissipates with no effect, and the action, bonus action, or reaction used to cast it is wasted. If that spell was cast with a spell slot, the slot isn't expended. So yeah, you're completely right. It uses the action, does not use the slot.
Okay.
And yeah, Constitution saving throw. It's basically the same, isn't it?
Well, no, because it's forcing. Because before it was the person who cast counterspell had to make a spell check with the DC being 10 plus the spell's level. Now it's the creature who's casting the spell needs to make a Constitution save.
So do we think a lot of spellcasters are going to like work into Constitution?
A lot do anyway for like concentration and stuff anyway. So it's going to be interesting seeing it in play. I've not seen it used yet. To be fair, I've not watched many games with the new rule set anyway, but it'll be interesting when it comes up in one of our games.
The other thing is I'm not seeing any upcasting. There's no upcasts.
I don't think you could you could upcast it before, couldn't you?
Because it was whatever spell level used to buff it, wasn't it?
Just instantly negated it, wasn't it?
Yeah. If it's equal to what to the slot they used, then it's just gone. But there's no upcasting.
Yeah, and it doesn't say that it instantly negates it if it's a third or level or lower. So it's always a Constitution saving throw, which is good because you get certain DMs who go, you get a player run over and go, I'm going to cast Cure Wounds to bring my friend who's on 2 death saving throws back to life, and the DM goes, no, can't spell that.
And it just
So that stops that. Kind of.
It limits that.
Yeah, limits that. Yeah. Amazing. Was there anything else, Nick?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like all of us could talk for a long time on our thing, so I don't want to eat up too much because I'm sure we all have plenty to say. It was all very cool. I like the fact that I feel like there's been a change with martial arts with the way that monk weapons work, but I don't know it very well. But I just like that all simple weapons and scimitars and short swords all count as a monk weapon, and they're all tied into the same thing as unarmed strike. So whatever you use uses your martial arts die. So once you're like up on a high level, if you've got a 1d12 to roll, then your dagger does 1d12 as well. So you can attack with weapons.
That's cool.
So it keeps like that internal monk force even behind the weapon attack. It doesn't retract from the point of having weapons. So again, it's that choice that we mentioned at the beginning. You can play around and you can do things a bit differently because it's neatly balanced like that. And I think they've done well with that. It's really cool.
It's much more nicely worded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
it was a bit like, this is a monk weapon if it's, but then if it's, and then that's
that was how it was in old rules. When I think it was if it had the two-handed property and the I think it was two-handed versatile and heavy properties, you couldn't use it as a monk weapon unless it was a quarterstaff. Yeah, because it had a special property you couldn't. But now it sounds like it doesn't matter about that. You could be a monk with a giant glaive type weapon because you can get monks. There are warrior monks in Japanese tradition that wield nakitas, which are like a lighter version of a glaive. So that makes sense. That's thematically that feels more thematic. So
nice.
I overall really enjoy the rules changes that we did explore during this game. I think are really good. Obviously, from my excitement, my favorite thing is the tools, because tools always felt like they were sort of a thing that was just pushed to the side. But now they feel like an additional skill set that your characters have, especially when you have proficiency with them. So I'm
excited to see when an artificer comes out.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if they're going to bring the artificer out in an Eberron book, possibly.
And hopefully with a 4th subclass, because everyone else got 4.
Yeah, everyone else has got 4, yeah.
Not that we're better.
Well, they did get a 4th subclass in, I think it was Tasha's. They got the armorer, didn't they? So maybe it would just be the 3 that they got in the book that they came in, and then the 4th one that came out later on.
Yeah, probably.
I think they came out in, I want to say the Artificer came out in Xanathar's and the subclass was in Tasha's. I could be wrong. Chat, correct us. Obviously, I should have said this at the beginning of the game, but obviously we were playing with the new rules. We're all relatively new at using them. So if there were any rules mistakes that we did get wrong, we apologise, but that's just how things go with D&D. I mean, we still get the normal 5th edition rules wrong, so...
I feel it did a good job of like expanding rather than it being like this is completely different. Where you're like say speaking personally, it's like okay, your clerical thing has improved rather than going it's completely altered. You know, but I do think stuff like counterspell is going to be quite interesting in like a few months' time. We were like, actually no, that's not how that works anymore. We're like, well, if I remembered that, I wouldn't have done it. But I'm looking forward to finding the weird little. Sort of like side rules and the stuff being like I think I was saying before we started where they were having to work some stuff back where like people were summoning giant insects and they're like, oh, they've got 70 HP, we misworded that, that's not you shouldn't be level 4 and having that. But no, you know, to be honest, I think it's really exciting and I'm excited to see where it's all going to go. You know, what other new little routes there are.
The last thing I'll say before we end, because we're getting to that 20-minute mark now, is I will be interested to see in future books if they add a certain spell that I absolutely despise, as do most DMs, Silvery Barbs.
Yep, there we go.
And how it has changed, because 100% that they are going to change it. But I'd like to see if they do bring it back, what they change with it, to see if it is actually a spell that DMs are not going to hate anymore.
I don't think they're going to. I'll put a shiny sixpence down that I think.
You say that they changed counterspell.
That's true.
Yeah.
So maybe it'll be another saving throw situation.
I mean, rolling a new D20 is kind of like a saving throw anyway.
Yeah,
That's true.
true. Yeah. Anyway,
I will give out which we mentioned at the begining, my reference for this character for the game today, because otherwise chat will yell at us all forevermore. You probably guessed it by this point, River Tam from Firefly / the Random Tea, played by Summer Glow, who I therefore named Autumn Rain. The rain has got nothing to do with Glow, I just like the sound of it. But that was the basis of this character, and I want to make her now always. That was so much fun.
Well, I will say, although this was a one-shot, it was set in the Roll Together universe, so I did make a small hint to what happened in the Netherwinter Woods, pushing everything out of the woods, hence why wolves and undead were there. So there is potential for these characters to come back in future adventures as and when players are available to play them, and if DMs want to upscale the levels or anything and use new rules, then we might see them again in the future. Anyway. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. We have been Roll Together RPG. If you'd like what you've seen, we do D&D content on Mondays and Tuesdays. Mondays goes bi-weekly with our long-running campaign and our adventures in Faerun. Check out our socials and Discord for which games are on when. Tuesdays are currently reruns of our older shows that have been slightly touched up a little bit and are being re-released. And Wednesdays we do live world building streams, which are live world building streams, which are focused on the Aodran world, which is the long running campaign setting. Although, if I feel like it or don't feel like doing it, we just sit and chat and just have fun. That's been the norm lately. So it's like a lore together / talk together sort of Wednesday. Every now and then when we've got a non-D&D TTRPG prepped and ready to go, the live streams will be replaced with one of those. So again, keep an eye on our socials and join our Discord if you'd like to be updated with when those things happen. I believe that I need to slap myself on the wrist now as well, because I didn't thank the D20 Club at the beginning of the stream. A massive double thank you to the D20 Club on Patreon for all of the love and support that they give us. Without their help, we wouldn't be able to do what they do. You can join them from as little as one of your local currency per month, or one goat, which must be sent to Tom for Tom reasons. by following the links
Dinosaurs.
in chat. Dinosaurs. By following the links in chat or in the description below. Speaking of the description below, if you are watching this on YouTube, please do consider leaving us a like, subscribing to the channel, and commenting down below. That helps the algorithm tell us what you like, so we know what to make more of. At the point of recording this, we are about, I want to say 16 or 17 subscribers away from 500. So when we get to that, we might do a special one-shot. So yes, please do consider and tell your friends about it as well. Thank you to our sponsors and supporters. Thank you to my players for playing this game and bringing these fun characters to the universe. And we will see you all next time. Stay classy, as they always say. Stay classy at the table. I can't come up with the quick clip. Tom, give us a quick clip.
As we like to say at the end of every episode, just because you're a giant dinosaur doesn't mean you can't party. Have a good night.